Well, hello everyone. It's Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Actually, not my YouTube channel. It's John. We're on Casino Gaming TV. What am I even thinking about here today? Got a lot going on. Got people in the Zoom already. We're going to talk about how you get ready to get on the show in just a minute. We have a pre-show coming up. We have a special treat for you tonight. A special story time that Chris over at Dice Degen sent me this morning. He did specially just for Craps Chat. Unfortunately, I got a text message from him just a little while ago. He's got something going on. He may be able to join us a little bit later on. Guys, here it is on the shirt. No comment tonight. I'm just going to let this show go. We're going to see what's going to happen. We are streaming live on the Casino Gaming TV YouTube channel. Welcome to everybody in the chat. I actually am looking at the chat roll in here, and I wanted to be able to put the first person up in chat, and you guys have been so much going ahead with the chat that I can't even scroll back to see it. So look, let's go ahead and get this pre-show started because it's about a 10-minute show. It'll take us almost up to the top of the hour where we're actually going to start the show. So here we go. This is the pre-show, a special story time from none other than Chris over at Dice Degen.
What is up, everyone? Chris the Dice Degen here, and this is a special episode of Storytime with the Degen for Craps Chat on Casino Gaming TV, hosted by Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps and Dylan from Skill and Luck. I appreciate you guys showing this on the channel, and I really do love Craps Chat, and hopefully you guys will see me on the panel soon. Quickly though, everybody, join the panel. It's a lot of fun. All right, it's a lot of fun, just like Storytime with the Degen. All right, so what Storytime with the Degen is I bring you guys on. I will send you a link. You come right into my feed. You'll sit right by the fire with me, and you can tell a casino story. It can be a crazy story. It can be just a casino story you want to share. It can be a trip report, whatever you want it to be. So if you want to be on a part of it, link is right down below to my email. All right, right on the bottom of the screen there is my email, dicedegen@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, and I'd be more than happy to have you on Storytime with the Degen. I do these about once a week, and I really like having people on the channel and share their stories. All right, I have plenty of casino stories, but I want to hear your stories. I feel like a lot of other people want to share their stories. They don't know how to share them. They don't know what they want to talk about. So I'll be a platform for it. All right, if you want to come on, again, shoot me an email, and I'd be more than happy to have you. So for this special edition of Storytime with the Degen, I decided I'm not going to tell a crazy story today. I'll save those for later story times, but I'm going to tell like a wholesome kind of story. This Craps community has been absolutely fantastic. I started my channel earlier this year, and the love and support and encouraging people show is absolutely incredible. So I want to thank all of you for that. And I really, really do appreciate it, and it makes me want to make videos even more. Kind of lights a fire under me. No pun intended with the fire next to me, but I really enjoy it. So I appreciate all of you, and again, if you want to come on, shoot me an email. But my wholesome story today is my second time ever playing craps in a casino. Well, I guess not my second time, but my second time other than my first time. My first time was in Vegas, so I'm going to exclude that whole weekend. So my second time, my first time playing back at home, I got to play with my dad, who was brand new to the game of craps. I was just introducing him to it, and my grandpop, who he's a big casino fan. He likes poker. He likes Texas Hold'em. He likes a 3-card, Caribbean 3-card, or I think that's what it's called. Anyway, he always liked playing those things, and I got back from Vegas. I had the craps itch, and we went to the casino. So it was the three of us. We had a little guys' night. So my grandpa, my dad, myself, 3 generations hitting the casino, and I was trying to explain to him how it worked. I was still a novice at the time, but Neither one of them had ever played the game before. Neither one of them had ever thrown dice before. They didn't even know what the game of craps was. And we went to the casino at my local, and well, special moment that I will never forget. We get to the table. There was 2 open spots. My grandpa, being how he always is, he didn't want to play at first. He told me and my dad to hop on the table, so we hopped on the table. And we were kind of feeling it out, winning some, losing some. You know how it goes, up, down, bankroll a little bit. But the guy next to me left. Grandpop slid in. Dice come to my dad. He had a couple rolls. At this time, I had really no concept of setting dice or anything. We were just chucking them at the end of the table, and Dad had a couple rolls. Nothing crazy, but what I was betting on, it worked. I had a decent roll, made some money, and then the dice went to my grandpa, and he was taking the dice, he was shaking them around. It was funny to watch. He hucked them to the end of the table. First throw, the one die didn't hit the back wall, so the box man goes, "You gotta hit the back of the wall." And my grandpa muttered under his breath, he goes, "Well, I ought to hit you." And I was laughing. I thought it was funny. And I told him, I was like, "Listen," I was like, "it's part of the game. You got to hit the back wall." And he goes, "All right, fine." So the next time he took him and he hucked him against the back wall. And the one die hit the back wall and came pretty much back to us. It was hilarious. And it happened to be a 2-1-3 craps, the ace deuce. And he said he's going to throw it the same way, so I was like, I'm going to bet on the 2-1-3. Why not? Threw $5 on the 2-1-3. He takes him, hucks him at the back wall, 2-1-3. I was like, all right. So I collected my winnings. He was happy, and we were having some fun the whole time. And we ended up all coloring up for a nice win that night. So it was a great intro to their first time playing craps. It was a great time playing with my grandpa, with my dad, who now you'll see that I go play with him quite often, and he's sometimes on my channel throwing dice for me in videos, so it was always fun to have him on the table. And he's the real reason why I even made the craps table in my basement in the first place. Because of COVID, we weren't sure what the casino situation was looking like. My dad got the craps itch as well, and we were like, you know what? I was like, I'll build a table in the basement. We'll have some fun, and it's been great bonding time. So I figured I'd share this story as kind of a story time with the DGen, as more of a wholesome story, because I do love and appreciate every single one of you guys who are supporting not only my channel but everybody's channels. You guys are, I don't know where you guys find the time. I think I'm busy, but I know a lot of you guys are busy, and you guys are always showing love, showing support. So on behalf of myself and all of the other craps content providers, we really do appreciate it. With my story time, right, you don't have to be a craps content provider. You can be just you. Come on the channel, we'll chat, I send you a link, you come on, and we'll have a great time. I've done a couple of them so far. I have a few others planned and lined up that I am looking forward to doing, and I want to have a lot of people on. All right, right now I'm trying to get them out once a week. I urge you guys to come on. Maybe we'll have 2 a week. Again, it doesn't have to be a crazy story. Obviously crazy stories are fun, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be a trip report from your last one. It can be something wholesome like I just shared with playing with my dad and my grandpa for the very first time. Whatever you guys want it to be. So again, if you want to be on, shoot me an email down below, and I really do look forward to having you guys all on story time. Let's get that going. All right. And I appreciate you guys, and come join me by the fire. We can roast some marshmallows. Don't worry, the crazy costumes will always be coming out. All right, I will tailor the costume to who I'm having on. All right, that's how I do it. My first story time, I went with the cowboy hat. I'm I'm an Eagles fan. Yes, we know the cowboy hat was not well liked by my Eagles fans. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a Cowboys hat. It's a cowboy hat. All right. So, just know that the props will continue to come. It's going to be fun. All right. There will be a new Storytime with the DGen dropping tomorrow, Monday. And it's with a special guest who I'm sure is in chat tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. The costume is fitting. I will tell you that. All right. But yeah, guys, thank you again for having me be able to talk about Storytime with the DGen. And guys, I want you to come on. Please come on. And let's have a chat. Let's tell some stories. And let's share all of our casino stories. Sometimes we wonder, did this only happen to me? You'll quickly find out that it's happened to many other people. So come on, share your story, and don't forget, guys, everyone has a little DGen in them, and I will see you guys real soon. Peace.
All right. Well, that was Chris from Dice DGen. And we are in the midst of our pre-show. We've got about 3 minutes to go, so I'm going to get some of the formalities out of the way, guys. If you want to join this show, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to the description below, hit that Zoom link. We've already got 3 people in the Zoom link. I'm going to go ahead and call them out here. We got Dice Grinder Arnell, Greg from Fives, and Alfredo from Texas. Crap Shooters is in the green room on the Zoom side. On the guest side, we have, of course, the creator of this channel, the Casino Gaming Network. We have John in the guest room. We also have the creator of the show. My co-host, Dylan, is there. And we're going to have a special guest coming up here real soon. It's going to be Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters. He'll be our guest for the first probably half hour, 40 minutes or so, because he's in the middle of doing something. So what you want to do to get on the show, I don't think I need both of those up there, guys, is just go to the description below. You can go to crapschat.com. There's a red link there. Scroll down, click that. I'll let you in. If you get into the Zoom side of it, just hang on. Now, other business. If you want to ask somebody on the panel a question or you have a topic for tonight, please put a capital Q before it so that I can watch the chat and queue those questions up for later on during the show. I know we've got a great first hour coming up for you, and we're going to get this thing started. And what's a better way to do it than just let's go ahead and get it started a minute early. All right, everybody, welcome to the 14th edition of Craps Chat. This is episode 14. Who would have known that we were going to get to episode 14? Dylan, I mean, what can we say? We never had any idea we were going to get here. But beneath me right there, there's the creator of the show, the co-host, Dylan from Skill and Luck. Over that way, I did it right this time, John. Over that way is John from Pro Craps. He'll be joined shortly
it's so
here.
hard, isn't it?
Yep, it is. You got to do it backwards. You have to do it backwards. Anyway, guys, hello everybody in the chat. We've got all kinds of things that have been going on in the queue. I want to be able to put this up here first. I want to show this first because what we're getting ready to talk about here. Let me put this up here. This first chat up here is Midmo Yo was early, and he said in your face sideshow, which is going to kind of like lead us into what we're going to talk about here in the next probably 7 minutes or so. Because if you haven't been watching, there's a challenge between Chris over at Sideshow, who literally just texted me and said he's caught up at work. He's got a 20-hour day. He's going to be listening, but he doesn't know he's going to be able to join in. But Midmo's here. Midmo actually put out a video after I did a video this morning, edited it this morning. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way, guys. I think you'll understand what I'm talking about with this video.
Hey everybody, it's Chris from Sideshow Gamble, and welcome back today. This is going to be a real quick video because, well, Chiro's been talking a lot out there today, and you know what? I need to put him back. I need to push him back down here and really get up here. So we did a short because, you know, I want you guys to know that I'm serious about this fedora, and fedora will be mine. I mean, yeah, I know it's his favorite thing, But I'm going to put something up. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. So here's the deal. All right, Chiro? Here's the deal. And everybody leave a comment down below. So we're going to show down. We're going to throw down, and we're going to play this out. However, I think this should be best out of 5. All right? Best out of 5. But we don't shoot him. Chiro gets to pick 5. I get to pick 5 strategies. We're trying to bring this community together. So 5 strategies each. He picks them, I pick them. And we throw down against those strategies. However, I want people like Old Bay Craps, CRC, George from CY, people like Silent Crap Shooter. I want them to shoot out the strategies comparing the two. And whoever wins out of those, if it's Chiro, it's Chiro. If it's me, it's me. But we're going to make this a community effort to find out who is better. Is the Sideshow Gamble? It is. I'm sorry, I'm just going to put that up front. And or the Mid-Mo Yo. I mean, come on, guys. He's talking about crying. You know, there is no crying on my side. It's just winning. That's all it is. Now, the fedora. I want the fedora. It's something he loves. It's something he holds dear right inside here. However, what I'm going to put up against this. Now, this right here. I know it's something Chiro wants. He wants more than anything else. So Chiro, you listening, brother? You got your ears open? You might need to take that fedora off to hear this. I'm going to put up my old craps table. See how it's still got it sitting here? It's still sitting there. It's all packed up nice and neat. I'm going to throw down against the fedora with my former craps table. Now, you'll have to change the felt. But I'm going to throw that craps table on against your fedora. It's not about money for me here, brother. It's all about you. I want to make Chiro sweat. Now, you now understand what I'm throwing down against you for that fedora. It's about principle. Nothing more. Principle. The Mid-Mo Yo goes down. The 5-1 mixer goes up. Look, brother, like I said earlier, I'm not throwing peanuts. I'm throwing black chips. So there it is. Do you accept or do you run away and cower? So you tell me. Leave a comment down below, folks. Let me know. Now, I agree with Chiro on this. We got to figure out. You all vote. You all let us know in the comments below. How do we throw this down? How do we see how the two of us go head to head? Is it 3 strategies and 3 strategies? And the final, Chiro and I go down? Pick your arena, Chiro. Or arenas. As always, folks, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. And until next time, Chiro, I'll be talking to you later.
Hey, Chris. All right. So, look at my beautiful wife. Doesn't she look amazing? We're about ready to head over to the casino right now, getting some practice in. Listen, we got to talk about what you said. I completely accept the table offer. That is awesome. So I'm going to get with you, or we can do this on video, but I'm sorry, I'm getting out of the way of a car right now because we're about ready to walk into the casino. So I'm going to get with you, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to make sure that everything is on the up and up. I want to do some tweaks to what you offered on how we want to do this. So let's figure this out a little bit later. I tell you now in a longer video, but I'm heading to the casino to learn how to beat your ass.
You're muted, Jeff. Jeff, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I
There
had
you go.
myself muted.
There you go.
That was a video that I edited this morning. Since then, Chiro put out another video, and I'm just going to let just a few seconds of it run because it's too long to let it run, but I want you to see what he came back with. All right, I'm going to stop that right there, guys, because he goes on for about 5 more minutes. And basically what he asked for is he asked for some YouTube channels like myself and John, Chris at Dice Degen, and some other ones to actually roll them out. And I put in my comments that I think that it would probably be best to do like a 36 roll like we do on Friday Night Fights, but just let it go 36 rolls all the way out. Best of 5 wins. If Chris wins, he gets the fedora. If Midmo Yoga wins, he gets Chris's old craps table. Guys, what do you think about that? That's something going on there, isn't it, John? It was your idea for me to kind of like bring this out for us tonight and take a look at what was going on here. What do you think of that challenge?
I love it. I think, like I said, the longer it goes, the better to me, especially now that Chris raised the stakes a little bit, right? So I think like the longer we can stretch it out, get, best 3 out of 5, even 5 out of 7, have it run on multiple channels. I think that's such a great idea to bring everybody together, number one, but really make it like you got to win. You can't just get lucky one time. So I think it's really, really cool. And we do it publicly, and it's going to be fun.
Nope, I think that's a great thing to do. Dylan, are you awake, and were you aware of what was going on there?
Yeah, I didn't hear the last part. I didn't hear the last part of the last video, but other than that, yeah. I think getting different people involved, George from CY, who's one of the best shooters out there, you can't ask for anything better than that. So, yeah, that sounds great.
Well, we'll see what happens. We kind of like got the show off to a different start today. Guys, I'm Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps. That's Dylan that way now. Dylan from Skill and Luck, the creator of the show. John's down there. And over here, is it that way? I can't even do it this way. Anyway, it's that way. We have in the Zoom channel, I'll straighten it up a little bit. We have Arnell from Dice Grinders. Arnell, give a little wave there. Okay, so we'll make sure the video's still working. Yep. Welcome tonight, Arnell. I'm glad you're on the show tonight. We have Alfredo from Texas Crap Shooters. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
All right. We also have my good friend down in Florida, Greg from 555s. How are you?
I'm great, Jeff. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. And I have somebody named Ron L., whose mic is muted. I don't know who Ron is. Ron, welcome. Do we know who you are?
Hello, this is Ron. I live in Virginia. I'm currently leaving Maryland Live Casino.
Okay, well, good. We're glad that you're able to join us today. Welcome to the show. We are having a special guest come on the show in just a few minutes, and that's going to be Brian. And I have to get him into this chat schedule somehow in here. He's just joined us. So before we move over, I want to be able to say something, guys. On a live show I did earlier today, we had several people that joined over the past Friday Night Fights, last night with Waylon and me on Mid-Atlantic Craps, and today on my rollout today. We actually had some new people show up, and I'm glad to see them show up. But I want to actually kind of like highlight some of the new Craps channels, and then we're going to get right to the show while I fix the screen for Brian to come on with us, because Brian's just joined us. So right now, if you take a look at your screen here, you're going to see that I've put up just some of the new channels that have that I found and or have been around for a couple of months now with some new things. And there's one or two of them I really want to point out. So I'm just going to welcome to our community. Let's support our community like it says at the bottom. You can see that there's Crooked River Craps, and he likes to go by Crooked. He's got 79 subscribers as of this morning. Dice Dr. Dan with 152. Old Bay Craps, Craig's got 122. We got Grady Craps, and this morning on my show I kept calling him Gary. It's Grady Craps, brand new channel, 32 subscribers. A new guy this morning that I subscribed to is BGS Dice Den. He's got 24 subscribers. We've got on the right side Silver Fox Craps, that's Jay-Z for those of you over on Big AZ's channel. He's got 159 subscribers. This golfer 2408, he's got 313 subscribers. He's been out for a little while, but I went ahead and added him to this list. We have Don't Pass Craps, who's got 38 subscribers, and this one at the bottom there, Craps Energy with 121 subscribers. Guys, that's a lady. And I don't want to say anything bad about the channel because she does some of her family stuff on the channel, but I'm just going to put that out there. You can subscribe if you want to subscribe. I found that stumbling across it this morning while I was looking for something else. And at the top there, Alfredo, who has been very busy this last 2 weeks in the craps community, Texas Crap Shooters with 153 subscribers there with us today. So with all that said, well, I go ahead and add Brian to the screen here. Can you guys, John, you and Dylan and the panel there talk about something and talk about how well this community works together?
Yeah.
Talk about something. I think Dylan and I can kind of probably do that, right?
Yeah.
Dylan,
I'd
kick
like
it
to
off,
say,
man. What do you got to say?
Yeah. I know that last channel that you just put up. Her name is Truth, or she goes by the name of Truth. She's a African American lady. I don't know her personally, but I have watched her channel grow for a little while, and so she brings a different flavor to the craps community. So I just want to be very positive for all of the ladies out there that are trying to do something, and it's a very great step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. And so any female channel has my support 1,000%, because they've got it triply rough than most. So I can't highly recommend. Pardon?
I said they have to work 10 times harder to get audience too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unfortunately, I've shared this with a couple of people. I'm not sure if I did it on this show before, but when I look at my Google Analytics for my channel, what I see, and of course, I guess it makes sense. My audience is 99% male, and it's like 80% 50 and older, and it's like 90% white. So I get every old white dude on the planet on my channel. I looked at Chris from Dice DJ, his stats, he's got the 40 and below group, right? But also like 98% male. And I'm at the tables, you're at the tables, there's women playing all the time. But where the hell are they here? We're just not reaching them. We aren't reaching them. And I think channels like hers, and there's a few other women that have channels. I know Mars got one. We just got to start pumping them up and getting them more exposure, because to grow the game and make sure the tables don't disappear, you need to keep the young folks and the women like fired up about playing. Otherwise, we're just going to die off, and so will the game. So we guys got to, all we can do, and I think Chris from DGen and she and some others can really, really help us in that regard. Keep the game moving in the right direction, I hope.
Well, I wanted to be able to say at least hello to those new people, and they're all small channels, and we all started somewhere at some point. Dylan, did I cut you off? Because I want to introduce our guest who's kind of on the timeline today. But go ahead, Dylan.
No, go ahead. It's great to see Craps Hawaii. So go ahead.
No. I just thought I would bring that. That was 9 new channels, or newish channels. Some have been out there for a little while, but we all need to support them. And if you like their content, subscribe. I would subscribe either way, whether you like it or not. It's up to you whether you turn the notification bell on or not. But joining us all the way from Hawaii, it's got to be like what, 3:15 there, Brian? I don't have your audio, Brian. Turn your audio on your side. I don't have your audio. That's all right.
Yes,
there you go. I have it.
Here in Hawaii.
All right. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on the Craps Chat. And it's an honor to be with all of you guys.
Well, I want everybody, first of all, because I know your time is limited today, I want them to, if they have a question for you, any part of the Hawaii Crap Shooters, anything about what you have going on, your trips, your merchandise, your shows, your strategies, to put it in the chat, and I'll be putting some questions up while you're here there today. Plus, our panel may have questions for us. Does any of those people in the panel look familiar to you, Brian? You notice any of those guys?
Yeah, I know all of these guys. These guys are all the great YouTubers and putting out great content. Yeah, so it's great to be part of the Brady Bunch. You're
the second person to call this the Brady Bunch. I do know that Arnell and Alfredo were here early, and they've been now probably almost a half hour now with them. So I'm going to ask them to unmute their mics while you're here, Brian. Maybe they may have something they'd like to say hello to you, or maybe ask you a question or so. But real quick, Brian, tell us what's going on with the Hawaii Crap Shooters.
Well, my channel has opposite compared to John. I have 95% female, and all 26-year-old females. So I don't know what he's getting, but
That's because you're young and that's because you're young and beautiful. That's why.
just kidding. No,
It's those-
yeah,
It's those chickens. It's those chickens.
it's the chickens.
It is the chickens.
Yeah, we got chicks on our channel, so
The chicks,
that's
yeah.
why No, the channel has been growing, very well. The community has been doing well, and just unbelievable how fast the channel grew. So just trying to put out content like everybody, and helping as much as we can with the craps community, and do my part, whatever I can.
No. Well, we're glad you're able to join us. I think I talked to you several months ago about coming on, and schedules sort of conflict. Here on the East Coast, it's going on 9:30 my time, 9:20 my time, and it's only 3:20 out there. When you and I communicated earlier this morning, it was my afternoon. I think it was still morning for you. So it looks like we do have a question coming in for you. But real quick, let's have the panel. We just had somebody else join us. I believe it's the gentleman that I just did add to new craps content provider. But Arnell, how are you doing tonight? And do you have anything to say to any of our guests here that's in the panel tonight?
Oh, doing great. Looking forward to meeting up with Alfredo at the end of the month here. He's heading out this way, so hopefully hitting up, doing some hit and runs. Thanks for Brian. I got your dice the other week, so that was nice. I know the dice are going to start to get harder to come by.
Yeah,
from
that's
Midwest,
what I hear too.
They're stopping, so it's I'm wondering, where is everybody going to get their dice once nobody has more Midwest dice? What is everybody's plan to get dice, I guess, would be my question.
Yep. Well, I think that with the dice problem that's going on, especially with the Craps Nation dice, I know that Heath said that they're not going to be able to get what he's got is what he's got, and I guess we're going to have to look for some other alternative for some casino grade dice. Maybe Brian has a connection somewhere, maybe Jeremy does, but we're going to have to keep that looking in there. Real quick, let me take this in there. El Toro's in the chat. El Toro, if you come down into the description and just click the link, you don't need a password. I will let you in when I see you come in. Welcome, my friend. I'm glad you're back in the chat today. I would like to get you into the show today. So with that said, Brian, what's going on with Why Crap Shooters? Tell us something that's going on. When's your next trip? I got a question in here about merchandise. I got questions lined up for you already.
Well, we're winding down. We're about to hit Vegas in 4 days. The crew is going to get there. Big events happening. We got Casino Quest, Alex birthday bash. Big names in the craps community will be there. Howard Rock and Roller will be there. HCS will be there. A lot of our Patreon fans will be there. They made out the trip. This is the first time I announced the trip early, and the turnout is tremendous. So looks like it's going to be one busy weekend, and hopefully the floods are all done and I don't have to bring my floaties in,
Yeah, let's hope that.
To the next table.
But you should have those floaties there ready to go, because you do have water all around you.
Right.
So I don't mean to be looking away. I'm sitting here playing with the chat because I missed one of the questions I wanted to queue up for you. So you're 4 days out of going to Vegas. You got a good crew going. You're taking all the cameras. You got the 3D cameras. You're probably the only person using 3D cameras now. You come back. You spend hours editing those videos, putting them out for us to watch. These super monster rolls by everybody from the whole Hawaii Crap Shooters bunch. And why don't you just go ahead and name a few that's in your group, so that maybe there's a couple more channels like Chef Dice is out there. There's a couple more, like Mark's got a channel. Why don't you name a couple of them?
Yeah, well, in the crew, we just got Chef Dice. He's more active in his channel. Mars kind of taking a break. She had a couple losses in her family, so she's taking a break from craps right now. So, and she won't be making this trip. So I know there's a lot of Marnster fans out there, but she's not going to be on the trip. She's gonna be home doing some arrangements there, so she's gonna miss this
So-
trip. But
Yeah, really
Chef Dice has
sorry
a
to hear
great
that.
channel. Yeah. Yeah, Chef Dice has a great channel. He does a lot of the food. He mixes it up, and he does live. So he'll be going actual live while we're in the casino. I don't go live. I edit it, but Chef Dice is gonna go on his channel, and he's gonna go live inside the casino. So if you guys want to
Cool.
check us real live time, he'll be filming on that part. All the casinos we're at.
Okay.
So what
Well, you
what
got-
casinos are you going to be taking over?
I don't know about taking over, but we're gonna be downtown Boyd is our home court, and we have great relationship with Boyd casinos, and we're definitely gonna hit all the Boyd casinos, so we're gonna be there.
All right. Well, that was one of the questions that somebody asked, that Skill asked about that. I'm going to go ahead and put up a question here that was asked or just a little while ago for you, Brian, and I'm going to skip the chicken and the eggs question just right now because we'll come back to that right before you leave. Let me put this question up here that is there for you, and it comes from James Cartwright, who's a regular on your channel, everybody else's channel. He wants to know, how do you get the casinos to agree to film the live rolls, and are they pleased with the results that you've brought? Like, maybe, I think from a promotion standpoint, you may bring business to them. So how does that work?
Yeah. I think I got an opportunity during COVID. The casinos were ghost towns, and went to the management and spoke with them, and they were open to the idea. There were a lot of restrictions what I had to there's a lot of restrictions, a lot of rules. People don't want to get filmed while they're on vacation. They may be like on a work vacation, and you see them on the wife sees them on the casino, or some of the employees don't want to be shown. So there's a lot of things. The gaming commission doesn't want to show certain things on camera, so I got to be very careful. But the results have been awesome. They free marketing for them. We've had over about 1 million views on all of the lives too. So, and it has brought them a lot of business, especially Fremont. How I promote the hats and the jackets and their prop bets. A lot of people have been visiting their casinos just to get their own Fremont hat, their own jacket, and get that prize. So Aliante is a casino up north, about 20 minutes from downtown. They have seen a lot of business that come in from HCS. Every time we go live, when I premiere my live, people think we're there, and they drive up there looking for us and say, "I'm here, where are you guys?" But they don't know it's not real-time live, but just live. So pretty cool how effective our videos have been, and the GVR videos, excellent dealers. I don't know if you guys saw that, but when you see the dealers at GVR, man, these guys are professionals, top of the line. They could service the full table in quick action. They work together. They work as a team. We had them tipped very well. I think one of the dealers had their sixes up to 105, I think. That's how high they went up. But awesome to see that. I mean, all of us here play as much craps. When you see those, I look at it as an art, because they're so quick, they're so fast. They already kind of anticipate what you're betting. If you miss something, they'll remind you. But it makes the game go by so fast, and the experience a memorable one. So hats off to the GVR dealers.
Well, no, I really appreciate that. We actually got Jeremy from Color up in the chat. Jeremy, if you want to shoot me over a email to jeff@midatlanticcraps.com, I'll send you a key to get in, and I can add you in a different way, or you can join in Zoom, however you want to do that. Let me put this up here. Jeremy talked about the dice, and we're going to talk about the dice here. Just one second. This is from Jeremy from Color Up. He says that as of now, Midwest has me as a wholesaler, and I'm still have access to purchase. I was able to place an order after their company was bought out, but haven't put a new order in lately. So, seems to me me that maybe he's saying that at least he's in as a wholesaler, so maybe we'll be able to get some good casino quality dice from a color up. But Brian, I know you like to have the HCS dice as well. By the way, I don't have any of those, but you know, a little help there with some technology may be worth a set of dice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta do a shout out to Jeff, man. He really helped me on the tech. This guy, he is a wizard at tech. He helped me with my my live stream. When I put up new cameras, kind of messed up my whole stream, and I was missing frames. I was slow internet, and this guy is a wizard. He stayed up till maybe 1 in the morning helping me out, researching products and giving me recommendations. This guy knows it all, man. And he does. If you only knew how much streams this guy does, man, it's phenomenal. So thank you for all your help.
You're welcome, Brian. I don't do as much streams as you, and I think John will speak for it. If you guys ever have any technical questions with some of the technology, I would be glad to help. John, I'm retired. John's still working full-time, and his plate's full, but I love helping people. I actually helped Old Bay Craps get his setup going over the weekend. Anybody wants any help, just reach out to me, first of all, at jeff@midatlanticcraps.com. I reply to all my emails and text messages, but thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I'm watching the chats are just flying by, Brian. You've done live shows, so you know it's hard to keep up with them. I can queue them up, but I'm telling you that it's hard for me to keep up with all of the questions that are coming in. I want to back out here. Oh, let me put this one up here from Jeremy real quick before it flies by. He's going to talk about dice again here. He's talking about the Amazon dice are produced in China. Okay, so somebody must have been talking about the quality of dice, the 750s and the 775s. So they probably are produced in China. But, you know, to find good quality dice, I have about 7 pair here of good quality dice. And I actually have 2 pair here from my good friend Greg down at from 555s that I bought before Heath ran out that I'm going to be sending down to him that he wanted. Here's a question for you from Jeff. Here's a question from Roll to Win. Let me admit El Toro into the room here. He wants to know if you're ever going to come to Biloxi, Brian.
Yeah, so 2023, Biloxi is in our itinerary. East Coast, all the East Coast guys out there, we're going to come out to Atlantic City, and also we're going to do a cruise. So those are the 3 spots we're going to head out to in 2023.
When is your cruise? Is it in the spring, fall, summer?
We're still researching. Well, we don't want to go to East Coast during the winter, I heard. So we're probably going to go during the summer or something like that. But why, with all our great weather here, go down to the cold?
No,
I haven't been to any of that place. So,
well, actually,
I haven't been there, and East Coast I haven't been there. So it's gonna be like a real tourist time.
Well, when you come to Atlantic City, I certainly am gonna see you there. I will take the time to come out there. I'd like to come out on one of your Vegas trips and meet the whole gang too. But the reason why I asked about a cruise is I have about 10 people since last week when I mentioned about doing a craps cruise call me and asked me, hey, we need to do a craps cruise. There are a couple of people that are doing some craps cruises and some educational craps cruises. We just wanted to take a cruise, you know, and play craps together. Most cruise ships only have 1 craps table, but you know, I'd be interested to know when you're thinking about booking, because I'm still in the works of actually contacted an agent, a friend of mine that is researching some information for us. And we are going to go out of the Florida, Texas area. We're not sure where we're going to go, but we're going to go down to the southern hemisphere. We're going to go down to probably Honduras, Aruba, Curacao. I know Arnell over Dice Grinders, he's going on a Norwegian cruise at some point here in the near future. So craps cruises are nice. I actually go on a cruise next week. With that said, Brian, you don't have to tell us, but I'm glad to know that you're coming here. And you made mention that Chef Dice is going to go live for the casino. There's something that I'm in the works with doing with John and somebody else, that we're going to try to do some live stuff at some point. Hopefully, John, if you know where I'm talking about, we're going to be going down south, hopefully at some point, and do something with our good friend. Don't want to say too much about that, but I think he just gave it away in the chat. So, Brian, you have a lot going on. You said I do a lot of lives. I really don't do as many lives as you do. I mean, you've got some videos out there. You've got, what, 10,000 plus subscribers? You're probably, what, second or third in the craps community with subscribers?
I usually do a lot of lives only when it's coming up to the trip. Other than that, I just usually do it's been interesting. I've been I've been building strategies on the weekend, and I've been doing that live. And people wanted to see, light side, dark side. When to use the light side, when to use the dark side. So I've been having our viewers decide, hey, when should we switch, or should I asked them if they could figure out the trends, and to my surprise, a lot of them couldn't catch the right trend, right? And like the round table, it's really hard to know when to switch strategies, which is interesting. So I'm learning a lot from my community, from all the viewers, and then they want me to compete. Some have their favorite strategies, and some like one better than the other, and they have a feud, and I got to pair them up together. So to see which one will come out ahead. So that's what we're doing, but it's mostly for my Vegas prep. I'm going to the casino with top 3 strategies, and then I'm just going to be applying it and doing it that way. So it's more just preparation. Dice tossing is part of my preparation. Chef Dice is just equally practicing as much. He's just not going live because his home is in renovations now. But we take it really serious when we practice. We just put in double time when it comes to Vegas. So we treat it like prepping for the Super Bowl. So
I do have a couple questions, and they're kind of on the sarcastic side, and one about your merchandise I'm going to get to. But we've just had El Toro join us in the Zoom side. El Toro, welcome. I've got some heavy hitters on the show here tonight. I've got Brian, I've got John, I've got Dice Grinder Arnell, I got El Toro, we've got Greg from Fives. Anybody got a question for anybody? Does anybody got a question for El Toro or Brian? Or Brian, do you have a question for El Toro? Good evening, El Toro. How are you doing? Your mic was on, you just turned it off. Switch it around. There you go. A little bit of dead air brought to you by your local library. Yep. Not sure what's going on with the audio there. But anyway, Brian, I'll go ahead while El Toro is working on his voice, on his vocal side of it. I'm going to put this one up here for you. This is somebody who wants to know about some of your merchandise. They want to know when the Big Kahuna t-shirts will be available. That's asked by Dr. S, by the way. Dr. S wants to know that.
For Dr. S, that's one of his favorite ATS strategy, and he wants me to put out a shirt. That shirt is not in existence. He is recommending that shirt because he loves the Kahuna strategy very much. So we don't have that.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe in the future we will. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. El Toro, are you there here now?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I saw in your chat earlier you said you were driving, but welcome to the show. Welcome back. I'm always glad to have you on the show. We've got a lot of people in the chat tonight. We've got you here. We've got Brian as a special guest tonight. We'd love to have you in the future as a special guest. So do you have any questions or any comments of anything you've heard so far, El Toro?
No, actually, I've been trying to get logged in. So, no, I'm just glad to be here again. Got to be part of the show.
All right. Anybody on the panel got a question? Let me go around and somebody ask
I got a question
Brian.
for Brian.
Go ahead, John.
Actually,
go ahead.
So my question for Brian is this. This is very, very tactical and very selfish of me to ask this, but you mentioned that when you're at the casinos filming, there's a lot of things you got to go through. Like you can't show this. What are some of the things you've run into filming live that they say you can or can't do? Because we're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to get a live at a casino to do our 24-hour telethon. And you've done this. So help me to understand what I have to do. But also, I think it'd be cool for everybody to know what you go through to be able to film live at a casino.
Yeah, so it's a lot of planning. It's not like we just jump in and we we just film, we just put up our cameras. They gotta let the whole staff know. They gotta let the eye in the sky know. They gotta let the marketing department know. They gotta let the management, the staff, the casino floor, everything. And they gotta let them know. They sometimes rope it off so that people don't get into the view when the camera comes in, and they'll put up signs. They gotta actually staff the table for us as well. So sometimes we gotta go. We're usually going on what schedule they give us because of their. We all know they're short on dealers too. So for them to accommodate us, we're very grateful. But it's every trip we go, and I request a filming. They know our process. They know how we film. What's made it easier is because all of the dealers that we've got to known all the dealers, and they're fans of HCS, and now they want to be on film. So they sign a waiver that they're okay.
Oh, they got to
and
sign something?
yeah, they got to sign things, and just to make sure that and then the gaming commission, I have some troll says, I'm gonna report you to the gaming commission for you filming at the casino, but they don't understand I have prior management. But I got a lot of threats like that. But yeah, it's just more you're more being careful of who you film, because although it's just a live game, you gotta still be sensitive, I should say is the word, to other people who are on vacation who don't want to be filmed. But a lot of them want to jump on the table. Unfortunately, with the cameras, we only can fit so much. But other than that, yeah.
So do you have to do any post? Do you have to post edit and like take people's faces out and like the music and that kind of stuff? Do you have to do a lot of work to kind of clean it up, I guess? Or is it just what you get is what you get, and they have to agree because they walked by? How does that work?
So that's why I have multiple cameras. I can always switch off to the other camera. Editing for one hour live that you guys see on Wednesdays takes like double than a regular video. So we're talking about 10 to 12 hours of editing, especially with the 360 cam.
Wow.
That's why I only can put out one a week, or and that's why I'm behind. It's like these videos coming out is from April from our last trip. But I'll edit out certain things so that if there's one specific person that I didn't get an agreement to, then I'll cut off that view, or and then if they leave the table, then we'll take them out. So it's real.
Very cool.
You got to be real sensitive to those kind of things. Other casinos, like the strip casinos, they have so many traffic. That's why a lot of them don't want you to film, because there's just too much traffic and too much, and it's not worth it for them to give up a table for a 2-hour filming when they can have a lot of players on there, especially the big spenders. So
really,
we're not big.
It seems like you all are pretty active. You guys fill that table and put a lot of money out there. It isn't like it's not worth their while. Like they're getting a lot of action from y'all, it would seem.
Yeah, I know. I'm seeing the strip casinos. They're not interested in filming because they feel like they are. This is my opinion. I think they feel like they already have enough action on their tables. They don't need any more publicity. So, but the Boyd Gaming has been very good for Hawaii. I mean, and we cater to Hawaii, so it fits the culture of the Boyd. So we're fortunate to have that relationship.
Well, here's a question for you that Hal asked, and I know what the answer is probably going to be, but he wants to know, are they paying you to do that, Brian? I guess I'm going to assume the answer, but I'd rather hear you say it.
No, they don't pay me for anything. I should be paying them to use the table. It's a win-win for both of us. So to get a reserve table, to get filming, I'm grateful for that already. So I wouldn't, I think it's fair enough what they do for me, instead of any monetary payment for that.
All right.
And YouTube pays me tremendously with $10 a month or something.
I'm sure you get a little more than $10 a month, but you know, it's your content is great. You know, you've got both the. Are you on other than YouTube and Facebook? Are you on other social media?
Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram. Okay.
Instagram.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it's hard to navigate to so much social media things, and you know, YouTube is already tough enough, and then Facebook, and then navigating through all of that, adding those, it's really really hard. I mean, that I think now, I mean, that's why people get social media managers or assistants. I'm a one-man crew. You guys see me setting up my cameras by myself and taking them down, editing. I'm pretty much kind of exhausted sometimes at the end of the trip,
Well,
but one man crew, this is what it is, filming crew.
I understand the one man. I'm doing everything here while Dylan is asleep. It looks like he's actually sleeping, modeling his hat there. I know your time is short tonight, Brian. So I'm gonna put one more question up here before we get to the sarcasm and the questions about the chickens. So there's a question there for you. Wants to know what kind of bankroll do you take to Vegas? Now I noticed on one of your videos last week you actually said what you planned on doing, but can you answer that question?
So it depends on my trip. If I'm with Mrs. Money Shot, then my bankroll is half, But if it's a 5 to 6 day, I'll bring up maybe about 6 to 8,000, or I'll bring up a thousand a day. Obviously, I have markers if needed, but I typically 1,000 a day. I go in like 500 as a buy-in, and as profits increase, then I'll, next day, if I made 1,000 on the first day, next day it'll be 1,000 buy-in. So I like to call it bankroll progression, and hoping that at the end of the trip I can buy in and play with a $2,000 bankroll, which is all profits, right? So that's how I look at it, and not. But typically about $1,000 a day. I've been doing well so far. So far this year, have been coming home all positive. All of my trip reports, I get hit big time. I make big wins. Wheel of Fortune, I've been killing that machine. Hit 4,000 on a bathroom craps break. It's just, yeah, it's been fortunate. A lot of the discipline in your bankroll has help me profit it and come home in the positive, because before I'm up 2,000, I'm gonna just go for it all at the end of the last day of my trip, and a lot of times it didn't go my way. So I'm very cautious now. In order for me to come back again, I got to come up with profits, and so far so good. But a regular bankroll, it's hard to play a $15 table off with 300. Your strategies become limited. You're really, really pinching. So you sometimes can miss out on that big roll, and you're really just playing to stay alive, and it's kind of not fun. You want to have that comfortability where you can go for it, or if it's on you, like if I have a $300 bankroll, then I'm gonna have to be going like 160 on myself. But if I get the dice on the 10th player, and I only have $50 left, I don't have much to blast on myself. So, yeah, and why practice the strategies if you only have $100 left, right? There's the strategies that are at home. So, you gotta be comfortable. You practice and we practice and practice every day at home. With that normal bankroll, and that's why I try to keep it at 500, because I want it to be second nature. I want to know the what ifs and the adjustments, but that's why it's hard for me to play 2,000, because in reality, how much am I gonna be playing that in Vegas, which is not. Plus, I don't want to be showing $2,000 bankroll, then all the HCS viewers see me, Brian's buying in 500. What is that? He's supposed to be 2,000 kahuna, I like to keep it real and transparent, and $500 is my budget. I'm like John, we were working guys still. Yeah, we have kids in college. Same thing here. I'm working right now, but it's a manageable bet. It's a humble bankroll, I should say, and I enjoy it. We want to try to keep it entertainment and not going for the gusto all the time, right? If we win the jackpot, it's like a slot machine. If you win the jackpot, great. If you break out even, great. As long as you had fun, and that's the main thing. When HCX, we always like to have fun. So.
All right. Well, I know your time is limited. I want to give the opportunity of the panel to ask some questions. I've only got one other question queued up, and you know it's going to be about the chickens, Brian. So we're going to save that for last, right before you go. So anybody on the panel want to ask Brian why he's still here? Because, like you said, he's working. His time is limited today. So anybody on the panel? Anybody at all?
Hey, Brian. Yeah, I'd like to definitely say I can appreciate the level of concentration, everything that goes into trying to do lives and commentary, track your roles, do everything at the same time. This game's hard enough as it is. And I just now started, even being a good shooter, it's another adjustment that you have to do to try and do all those things all at the same time and still concentrate on your toss. So great job. Good luck in Vegas. I'm going to actually be there, so I know Chef Dice might join us on a couple of afternoons. Look like to see if I can meet up with you at one of the tables after your filmings this upcoming week. And then Arnell, shout out to you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Going to happen to be in Chicago. So.
All right.
Oh yeah, look forward to it.
Yep. Anybody
so
else?
What was the thing that? So Brian, what was the thing for you that helped you overcome to get to that concentration back? Because trying to chat and do all those different things all at the same time, was it just putting in more work?
And Chef Dice asked me the same question because he says, hey, why do you go live when it distracts you and you're not shooting, you're shooting subpar? But actually, I told him, no, the pressure is actually better because now what I got to do is now I got to chat. I'll chat with our viewers, and then I got to refocus. So that refocusing period and conditioning for me is actually a practice mechanism for me in my chat. So able to look at the chats in between roll. If I can refocus and get my shots down, which I've been doing this last lives, it actually helps in Vegas because the distractions are even worse there. But if you're able to refocus, it's going to help your game. And a lot of people can't refocus because a lot of them can't imitate the conditions. And then when they get to Vegas, they're shaking but if you can multitask and then refocus, you're definitely gonna get a stronger and that's the mental game of it that people don't talk about. And it's hard for me to talk about the mental game. Okay, refocus. Sometimes I'll talk myself through it, and then the viewers will hear what I'm thinking. But it actually helped me, and I actually enjoy. And before I didn't like the pressure. Now I love the pressure. I love being pressured because that's when the best comes out of me now. Because now it's like, yeah, it's game on. I got to throw now, and transparency is there. I hit monsters. I don't hit monsters, and it's just what it is. So, and I want to keep it real and not disservice our newer craps players. I don't want them to see, oh, Brian got like all these hats here. He always throws monsters. I'm gonna overbet him or bet him on him all the time. Like Chef Dice always bets high on me. He's what he got no trust issues, but. Showing the new crappers, crap players, I should say, the reality of it and how it is. And our live games does a lot of that. That's the best teacher to let them know it's not all fine and dandy. You're not going to have monster rolls. Don't blast and have an aggressive strategy and use it all on 10 shooters. It's a chess game. Craps is a chess game, and you got to have different weapons to attack this game. And showing that short rolls will exist. You don't know when it's gonna come. You don't know when the monster roll is gonna. But that's what makes the game exciting, right? So, But yeah, refocusing and doing that. You're doing it. I saw some of your stuff too. Good job on your shooting. You've thrown some monsters, and you rolled with Chef Dice. You rolled with George with CUI. You've rolled with all the big boys, and it's not always monster right all the time, but yeah, just keep at it. It's practice. Like a golfer, they're always going to be at the driving range till they retire, till they hang up their clubs, and that's just like dice. It's never ending. You're always going to have to practice.
All right.
Brian,
Anybody else on the? Go ahead, John.
Yeah. On that same topic, and this is for both of you. I think what I've found, because I've been going live every night now, throwing my 10,000 rolls, right? And I find that the distractions are the distractions. I don't really care about the distractions so much. But I find that with every throw that I make, because I'm live and I'm kind of dissecting my rolls and like kind of narrating everything I do, like, oh, those were off. That was, sideways release. That was a whatever. I'm talking you all through every roll that I make, and then I make an adjustment on my next roll. I'm actually practicing the self-talk that it takes to make the adjustment at the table. So by having to narrate what I'm doing and realizing, oh, that die went off kilter because I did X, and I tell you that, my adjustment on the next throw is what I would do at a table. And I think it's making me pause and think and practicing that self-talk and adjustment besides the distraction of the pressure of being live. I don't care about the pressure as much as I'm getting better at seeing things because I have to explain what I see, if that makes any sense. Do you find that same thing? I know, Brian, you were working on the bone tracker thing, like trying different sets because of what you saw. That's kind of what I'm doing in my lives at night.
I think it's just just goes in hand with visualization, right? You talking it through is just making it more clearer for your mind to understand. And you're understanding the more of what your dice is doing and what your toss is doing, which is making you more educated of being a dice influencer. Even though I know it's a controversial topic that you have, but looks like John's becoming a dice influencer. Just kidding.
Well, I practice. I'm not influencing a damn thing, but I'm throwing really good.
Well,
okay, he's influencing his random toss, but
Go ahead, Alfredo.
Yeah, no, it's really important to do the, George probably does it the best, to be able to see what exactly the dice are, no matter the set, and be able to tell you that's a secondary hit, that's a single pitch, whatever it is. It's easy to go and do that off the hardway set, but the hardway set might not be the best set for everybody. And you find that out using Bone Tracker and different tools where it may not be the best set. Although, if you listen to Dom, that is the only set, right? Because it's the only set with one pitch or with one flip that's not going to give you a 7, unless you have a flip, one way, right, and then explosion and implosion. But
here's the thing: knowing what dice sets to use, and it's actually a great tool because you go to Vegas, no table is alike, no casino is alike. George can't throw the same toss that he throws at home on a circa table, and then go to California and expect the same. Same with me. My table is not the same as everyone's. I do have favorite table, like the Fremont is when I call it my home court, I know exactly how the dice are reacting on that. But if you can adjust your dice sets quickly before the 7 starts showing or getting some, you gotta with that small sample of the come out rolls and kind of know where your dice are moving. And throughout the rolls, if you can see where your dice are going, that's an added advantage to the craps player, because now, if your dice are turning and it's opening up or imploded, or like what George said, exploded, those kind of things, then you can go to a hardway set and you can still adjust your throw. It'll save you. There's so many times by me changing the dice set, it saved me so many 7 outs. And I've showed it on my lives. I said that would have been a 7. George says that would have been a 7 if you didn't change your set. And that is money. That changing your dice set and lasting one more roll or 2 more rolls or 3 more rolls, that could have been $100 parlay, a $500 parlay, just by that quick adjustment. So people don't realize how critical those things are, and it only happens on the fly. You gotta adjust. Like, you get into a fight, your jab's not working, you're getting beaten up, but then you adjust and you use your uppercut or something like that, and it works out better and you win the fight, right? Same thing, like the dice setting is just equally as important as dice tossing, in my opinion. If that makes any sense.
Oh, I think it does. All right.
Let's talk about your short game. When you're short stacked or whatever, let's talk about, what are some of your triggers? When do you go to your short game, or for a more conservative strategy? I'm just curious how you approach that when your jab's not working, like you were saying.
Short, and on my short game, a lot of my if I'm not throwing it, it's a short game strategy already. So I'm already in that element. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not gonna jump into that. I'm not gonna be an aggressive on a random. I'm already in my light switch strategy. If totally I don't know the shooter, I'm already automatically in my light. It's the hybrid. If they go off, I can turn on the light switch and go on. But never will I be aggressive with a shooter that I don't know. You rarely see me go on the light side directly, or even put out 20% of my bankroll on that person. That's just not smart. So to answer your question, I'm not going to be in that position.
Yeah, I would assume that, but you know most of the players there because it's your table and you're filming it and everything, and you've got a core group of people that are there. I wouldn't think that there's a ton of random Randys just showing up on the fly, So I was just curious.
Yeah. On film is totally different. My play on film is different. Again, because I know the shooters, right? So like, unless I know the shooters, or if I have intel on the shooters, then I will definitely go on the light side strategy or semi, aggressive strategy. But a lot of times we don't get on the same table as ourselves. I've rolled with John in Reno, and a lot of random rollers jump on the table. Filming is a controlled environment. We have players that we know. So that's why you'll see more, hey, why don't they play the don't? And I played the don't just to try out my strategies on film. But it looks like we're all playing the light side. And it's only because the camaraderie, we already know each other. And we give each other the benefit of the doubt. We got no trust issues. But yeah, it's hard to take what you see on film to the actual game. And I think John is the only one who could relate because he's experienced casino hopping with us in Reno. Right, John?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I have another question up here that's probably geared towards you, Brian, because you've talked about it over the past year on some of your videos, and I'm going to go ahead and put it up here, and then we're going to I know your time is short. I keep saying that. Just let me know when you have to go. Wrong screen. Just give me a second here, guys. I apologize for that. Here it is. This comes from the New Jersey poker guy, and he wants to know what do you do to qualify an unknown shooter? I know you've talked about this in many videos, probably a year to 6 months ago, but this question could actually be asked and answered by anybody on the panel. But I'm going to ask you since you're the special guest tonight.
Yeah, qualifying a shooter. That was one of my. That was one. Now that I have stronger strategies, I don't qualify them anymore. I built strategies that can, sustain both sides. But when I was qualifying shooters, usually I would see how they would get the dice, how they were betting, how heavily they were betting, how controlled their dice are. Looking at all of those kind of things. If they're taking their bets down. How much they understand the game, or is this a drunk person coming up, or it's just like reading the table at a poker room. You look at all of these guys coming, getting the dice, and you kind of not know the table until the first round, and some people wait, I'll just go to right now. I'll just go to a more safer strategy. Um, but qualifying a shooter is just looking at how much they can roll. I used to do a 3 count or a hybrid and then come out, but that's just wasted rolls too. Right now, I'm just going on the light switch. If they point PSO, I'm good. If they two shaker, I'm good. If they start going off, then I'm good. So it's evolved to that right now. I don't know because I can't tell if that random roller, that guy I'm qualifying, is the 40 roller. There's no sign that says, on everybody's head, here's the 40 roller, here's the 3 and out, here's the PSO guy. And we like to, predict who it is, but um, everybody likes to pass rationalize and say, yeah, that was the guy, and post rationalize everything. But it's easy to do that. But predicting, it's super hard. I mean, nobody can go on the table and say John's gonna roll 40, skill and luck is gonna roll 10. Uh, you know, um, Texas crapshoot is gonna roll that. You just gotta have solid strategies, I think. But qualifying, you can definitely do that. Like the 5 count, that's a qualifier, but it's kind of boring. I like action, and um, if that's your thing, if you live in, we don't have a casino, so we're there for a certain period. We just want action, and 5 count. I think I can do better than a 5 count, so I built strategies instead.
Let me see if anybody else on the panel would like to answer that question. If you're muted and want to unmute, if you want to talk about qualifying a shooter, I think the question was geared towards Brian, but I think any of us here that are experienced craps players would tell you what you do. I never called it qualifying the shooter, but I pay attention, me personally, if the shooter's at the table when the dice come back around, I kind of keep track of what they actually did. And the same with Brian. If they're shooting and they're betting heavy on themselves, they're either they're a fool or they're really know what they're doing, experience, and I watch that. But I kind of watch the first time when I see a new person come in, or if I come up to the table, don't see anybody. Anybody else on the panel want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I definitely don't do the 5 count because, like Brian says, it's kind of boring. And my thinking is actually, the opposite. Why wait 5 rolls when those 5 rolls could be making you money? If I can, I'll watch exactly, what they buy in for, what they're betting. If I see they're rolling specific numbers, then I'll probably definitely bet that number, the next time I see him shoot. But usually I try to bet 1 or 2 numbers on any shooter and see where it goes. I'm more of a light side player, so I'll give everybody a chance. But usually just 1 or 2 numbers and let it run from there is the way I usually play. It usually works out for me.
Alfredo, I'm going to go to you, but I'm going to see if El Toro wants to take a stab at that question. He's muted at the moment, so El Toro, if you want to take a stab at that question when we come back, I will let you know. But go ahead, Alfredo. I know you're an experienced player, new YouTuber, but experienced player.
Yeah, I think Brian hit it on the head, right? Like there is no recipe as to who's going to have that big hand. Anyone is 100% capable of throwing a high 20 or even a 30 roller. Can they repeat it, right? And you look for the things that you want to see on whether or not there's a possibility of someone repeating it, right? Or you want to be lightly on the light side to be able to have the money there so that you can get into the hand like Arnell said, because it is pretty boring to do a 5 count. You can play a mixed bet strategy, or do exactly what happened on your show yesterday with Waylon. You survey it a couple times around, even on yourself, because you might be, as Brian said, new to a table and the bounce might be a little different. You may have to adjust your trajectory of your dice, or even the set, depending on what the bounce is, so that you might need to adjust to the table. So don't go heavy on yourself even right away if it's new.
Well, no, actually, somebody put a comment up here very similar to that, and I was going to save that for later. Talked about, I think it was this one from Dice Dr. Dan, who actually said, do you think about your very first roll at the dice as kind of like a warm up roll? And I think Brian hit the nail on the head a little while ago when he talked about George being at the Circa and then going over to a Fremont Street or somewhere off Fremont Street, the table, it's a little bouncy. I mean, Brian, when you switch from casino to casino, I guess the question from Dice Dr. Dan is your first roll is that a warm-up roll?
Yeah, it's always my warm up roll. It's always my hard set. That's why I hop the hard ways on every come out. That's my quick information dice set. And once I have to make if I get a point established, that's all I gotta go off on. And then I gotta go with a safer set, a more forgiving set, and I would never go to the hard way set on my second roll. But you gotta try and get as much information as you can. They don't give you practice tosses at the casino table. And that's all about practicing and adjusting your swing. So when you got the muscle memory, you can easily transition to a softer toss. But it's hard if you don't practice it, right? If you go to different golf courses, all golf courses are different. Some have thicker greens. It's the same thing. You're not going to swing the same the same way, but you have that comfortable swing that you can just adjust to it. Texas Crap Shooters, he mentioned about the probability of a shooter shooting high, and to me, that's the difference between dice influence and players will have longer rolls. The differentiator is how many consistent 20 rollers, 30 rollers will that shooter have. And with the higher probability in certain shooters, that's where you can make a better betting decision on going higher. And that's basically what the whole crew is. We have a higher possibility of making more money and getting a longer roll off of this individual to someone who is a casual shooter. Yeah, they'll get the 40 rolls, but if they continue to play that way, how many monster rolls will they have under their belt compared to someone who practices every day like George or something? I would put money that the dice influencer would get more multiple rolls, more double-digit rolls than that random roller. So I know dice, they said it doesn't matter, everything is different. I mean, everything is random. But in my opinion, the key factor is consistency and number of huge rolls. That's what makes the difference between a random roller and, it could be random in there, but you can't never get 20 plus 20 monster rolls if you're not practicing or having something. So the probability you hit it on the head, player probability is key to knowing your shooters. Sometimes they might have bad days, but it happens. But overall, they will perform. So I would bet on George every day. Even though he had a bad roll one day, I'm not gonna hold him to it. It happens. But on a 7-week, if we went on a cruise with you, Jeff, I'll bet on him the same way as and I feel confident I would bet, come out ahead more than those losses. So I think that's the whole differentiator of a random roller and a dice, in my opinion, if I was to answer that question.
Anybody else beside Greg making noise? Is that the DI question response from Brian?
I'd like to take a stab at qualifying, Jeff, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, as far as qualifying, I think the problem with qualifying a shooter is you're doing it in the rearview mirror. Now, how I qualify the shooter is this. I make sure he has at least one hand on his body, and then I place a don't. But other than that, I don't qualify a shooter. I will qualify a table overall. I will, if the table's going in the direction that I want it to go in, yes, I'll jump on that table for the don't. And I think that would be wise for lightsiders too. But actually trying to wait for a shooter to establish 5 rolls, first of all, it doesn't mean that they'll get a 6th, even if they get the 5. Second of all, most shooters, they don't last 5 rolls. So, you're just going to say, how long are they going to go? I think it's a useless pursuit. I think at the end of the day, you're better off just not qualifying, or qualify like I do. See if they have a hand to throw the dice, and then you put a don't down on them.
Well,
Greg, this is how Greg qualifies them. He puts his don't pass and says, "Let me see you hit a point." That's how you qualify him, right, Greg?
That's it.
Listen, let's see which one of you can hit a point.
Yeah. Hey, Craig, are you nice? You don't stack up your don't like right at the end of the table, do you?
Me? I put it in front of me wherever I happen to be. I'm not looking to aggravate anybody with it, but I'm certainly not going to move it. I'm not going to move my bet for anybody either. I mean, can you imagine that? I'm sitting there playing the don't, and they want to actually influence the dice against me and ask me to move my bet to help them. I think that's absurd.
Oh, no. I get it, but some will put lower denomination chips and just stack them up like something to barrel through.
I like to treat people the way I want to be treated. I like that. My whole thing is you treat people with love the way you'd like to be treated. So I try to be good to everybody. I never use, and this is important, I never use my bet as a weapon, not against anybody else to cause them a 7 out. I'm playing against the casino. Now, sometimes I win money, sometimes I lose, but I'm not using my bet at all as a weapon against anybody. And I've heard people actually do this with their bets and their shooting. And frankly, I think it's a disgusting thing to try to knock somebody off a bet. I go there to play my bet, play my game. I hope you play your game. I wish you luck. We can't all win all the time, but I wish everybody luck. So I think, to do something like that, for me to stack $5 or $1 chips to knock somebody out, that's absurd. I'd never do it.
I've seen that. I've seen people aim at people's chips to try and knock them off. That's crazy, right? Yeah. Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah.
All right, Brian, I'm glad you stayed around with us. It's been an hour almost with you. Does anybody else here have a question for Brian, who's our special guest tonight? I've queued up a lot of questions for once we get into the rest of the show, and I'm glad that we're past that first hour for most of you, hour and a half for me in the pre-show. But does anybody on the panel want anything else from Greg today? From Greg or Brian today?
I have a question, actually. I do have a question. Sure, Brian, when are you going to be in Biloxi? Because I would love to go down there and meet you and play with the Hawaiian Crap Shooters crew. So please let me know, email me, or let me know now, because I'd love to keep my schedule open.
Right. Well, I'll let you know. We're still looking for a don't player to fill a spot, so... no, just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Do that. I can do that.
That's awesome.
Just leave your cat at home and don't let your cat cross me when I'm on a monster roll, all right?
No. All right. You leave the chickens, I'll leave the cat.
Yeah.
All right, that's really good. Okay, panel in the Zoom room. Anybody, Skill or John, anything else for Brian? You're welcome to stay, Brian. I think Gray questions queued up.
Yeah, Gray wants to say something.
Yeah,
go ahead.
How much do you get to play off camera while you're in Vegas on a trip?
Oh, that's questions for me. Oh yeah,
great question too. Yes. Great question. Yeah. Thanks you, Leon. Thank you.
I'm always there early in the morning, at the Fremont, warming up and right before the shoot. So I'm always there at 7. But since I've been posting that, man, the HCS fans just come at 7 o'clock. So my table that's usually dead, it's now people are waiting there at 7 o'clock. So I usually play one session in the morning and then one session in the afternoon and then one either or early afternoon right before the craps rush. I very rarely get on the table unless majority of them are HCS players or friends, HCS friends. I'll jump on the table because it's already hard enough to beat the game, and then now you got to beat all of these different people learning, and nothing against them. They're learning the game, but that's the environment that I don't want to put myself in that environment. If I can control the environment as much as possible, I will do that. It's almost like kind of like suicide. You jump in there and trying to win, and then you're gonna try and toss, and you have all of these landmines and everything. It's you're setting up yourself for failure. So I try to miss that rush, and then come back in the morning. And then that's why I've done so much bubble craps, because bubble craps is my evening. If I want to play craps and the tables are full, I'm at the bubble crap. So that's my alternative in the evening. But I usually play early in the morning, to answer your question, right before lunch, and then maybe after mid afternoon. But I never you see me in the late the peak times. And every day, weekdays and everything, craps table peak time is always at 7 p.m. and up. So you're not gonna see me there.
All right. I just had a question come in before I got to the chicken question, and actually it's more of a sarcastic one. Albright wants to know about women in your crew and women playing. So I got to put this up there because it came in about the same time I did that, Brian. This will probably be the next to last question that I'll have for you. Brian, since you have a lot of women on your crew, do you gain female craps fans as well? Do you think you all help introduce craps to women more often?
Yeah, Chef Dice has influenced a lot of women. Oh, I mean, you're talking about our female, right? Yeah, Chef Dice is. No, I'm just kidding. Chef Dice is not
I got that. All right, family show.
Yeah, he once was. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, we did that. We helped promote. We want to promote the women craps players. A lot of them are our. John was saying he's at 5%. I'm probably at 10% women, but a lot of them are coming out and enjoying the game and are feeling less intimidated because of all of you YouTubers giving them confidence and seeing that the ladies are out there. Mrs. Money Shot coming out, Mar, and we that was the whole purpose of our Green Valley Ladies Night, is to let them know that the ladies can shoot. Don't be intimidated that all ladies don't know what they're doing and they're just holding on to the arms of their boyfriends and husbands, because there's some lady players out there, they just don't get exposed as much. But we want it to be a balanced sport, and hopefully in years to come we all help promote that and get our wives. A lot of them just, it's a male dominant game, right? So I would say it wouldn't overtake it like any other sport, but maybe we might have like a WNBA craps, a lady Hawaii crap shooter, a lady pro craps, or a lady mid Atlantic ladies or something.
Well, yeah. I'm going to reserve
Jeff,
my comment
maybe
about
someone that you want to add
Right.
on later is Carrie Coda is starting a all ladies craps group.
Yeah,
and she's out of Las Vegas.
That's great.
Yeah, and Brian knows Carrie
awesome.
as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Thank you, Alfredo.
we've had this idea, Alfredo, on this channel on CGTV to have this kind of a ladies' night show like this, but all women. And I've been trying to find women that I can that want to run a live show like this and have all of us not be there. So maybe I should reach out to Carrie. That'd be actually pretty cool.
Yeah, would be. All right, Brian, here it is. The question has been queued up for almost an hour now. It's going to come from our good friend Midmo Yo, the fedora-wearing person. Stand by for this one. I'm going to read it to you, and then we'll get on with the show with this. A question for Brian. What do you do with the chickens? You just get the eggs? Are they pets? Do you have barbecue weekends on the grill meat? What do you do? So I've noticed here, Brian, lately that the chickens haven't been in your videos.
You know what? I got a new chicken filter on my mic. I've no, the chickens are still there, but my mic, I've going live. I've learned a lot from YouTube. Believe it or not, YouTube had taught me some mic filters and all of that kind of stuff. So that's why the chickens are still there, but you guys just can't hear it. You just hear that. But the trade-off is you guys can't hear the dice hit the table anymore because it filters out that sound as well. But
Yep.
yeah, the chickens are feral chickens. We're here in Hawaii. They just run wild. So in no controlling them. It's not even my chickens. Now it's not even my neighbor's chickens. They just run wild and just cause chaos all over, right? Yeah.
All right,
So I
Brian.
hope that answered your question.
Yep. I don't know that there's not more questions in here because Dr. S did put this in there. He probably might not have been here. He said he wants the big Kahuna T-shirts. He really wants them. That's the second time I've displayed that for Dr. S. So I hope you do something with those shirts because going back about 6 months ago, I owe you a shirt. Remember that from about 6-7 months ago? I told you I was going to get you a shirt. Yeah. Well,
That's why I still didn't send out your dice.
Ah, man. Wait till you call me again and want some tech advice. I'm going to say, who's this? Who's me? Brian, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a blast. Feel free to stick around. Anybody else have anything for Brian? He can stay as long as he wants, and I know that he was working, and I guess it's it's like going on 4:30, 5 o'clock there your time now, Brian. So
yeah, I'll hang out. I'll hang out a little while. Then I'm sure. I gotta get going, but I'll hang out. I'll be here.
All right, let me go back. Let me go to the panel, and I'll get to some of the questions that we have here. I'm going to put up Arnell here again. I'm going to kind of like spotlight him. Arnell, who's here from Dice Grinders, he does the Wednesday night live fantasy craps. And Arnell, you've had quite a few full rooms the last couple of weeks, and that appears to be like that's pretty. It's become popular again. Is it seasonal, or do you just think the popularity of what you're doing is really working?
I think it's more of, people want to be able to practice. So, I mean, I enjoy doing it. I encourage anybody that's got a practice rig or table to jump on. If you don't have a rig, I've been doing the CRAPS, rolling numbers out. Unfortunately, to CRAPS, you got to have a subscription. But, we rolled that out. So I noticed there's more and more using CRAPS, so that's a good thing.
Yep,
but
I've been using it.
I enjoy it, and definitely encourage any CRAPS enthusiasts that want to play. Get a hold of any of us. They'll be able to help get them on, anywhere on YouTube, Facebook, any of the social media. But yeah, we'll be happy to get anybody on.
I know that you're dual streaming. You're dual streaming on your Dice Grinders channel, and you're dual streaming here on Casino Gaming TV. And I find the viewers, because I'm one of those multitasking type of people. I'm back and forth. I'll say hello to you, and oops, I'm on the wrong channel. I'll go over to Dice Grinders and say hello to you. And you're doing the controls like I'm doing here. And when you're shooting, do you find when you're shooting and running a show that it's hard to concentrate on your shooting? Because I can tell you for the past month or so with what I've been doing in shooting, and even when I'm not playing, it's just difficult to concentrate. And I listened to Brian talk about concentration, and Ed from Roll to Win and I talked about that. I think Al hit on it a little while ago. Do you have problems shooting when you're running the whole show?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, it's definitely a lot of distractions because you're trying to keep up with, the chats and things like that. Even though I dual stream on both channels, I do see both chats. So if you say hi on one, I'll see it on the no matter what. So that's good.
All right.
But
let's go over to
definitely there.
Yep. Let's go over to Alfredo, Texas Scrap Shooters. You've had a busy couple of weeks with things that you're doing. Yesterday, you did something that might have been the first of a kind outside of somebody that has been talked about in the chat, but we're not going to talk about him here. You put some people around a table. You turned some cameras on. You ran about 4 hours of playing some live craps. You had some technical difficulties. You learned like the rest of us. You can plan all you want, you can prep all you want, but it doesn't go that way. How's things been going for you since you got your channel started?
Things are great, man. We have a great Texas community here, and really the genesis of it was to create a crew that I can go to Vegas with, and we can have some live practice, understand what are each other's tendencies, and know when to go. When to turn on the switch and say, hey, it's time to bet. I see the same thing that I've seen multiple times, right? So That was part of it, but it's also, as everyone here has said, I don't want to see bubble craps take over the casino. I know that puts people out of jobs. I don't find it quite as fun as playing regular craps, but that's because I put a lot of hours in, and I know that even if I have some bad rolls, I will eventually, hopefully get to a good roll. But yeah, no, it was awesome. It was a marathon. I didn't shoot at all because of the paying out, keeping up with the chat, putting the crapsy table, making sure to put that in, and even then, you run into some issues. So maybe some things that we can talk to the folks in support there about how to make that even easier. But yeah, no, it's been great. The community's been great, and I just appreciate it.
When it comes to Crapsy, because I know Arnell's using it and I've used it quite a bit, I've actually been in communication with Chuck in support. And it's not a very big company, but what Alex and David have done with Casino Quest, because that's what it's associated with, I think that it's a niche that's Arnell's found works for him because he has more people playing with him. With me, it's come into play last night when Waylon and I did our 2-hour discussion and rollout last night. We had 17 Crapsy players. The screen wouldn't even show it all. I had 17 people playing craps with us last night for those horrible rolls. And Alfredo, I saw that you brought it out. So good luck on your channel.
I was up at one point during that roll, and you said it was the last roll, and I did the one thing you just don't do in craps, right? Last roll, to start pushing all your bets up there. And yeah, that didn't work. The 7 came right after you said that. I was like, oh God.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me go over and ask Leon to unmute himself because I'm going to talk to him for a second. Leon, welcome. You were on the show earlier today that I did with the live rollout, and I kept calling you Gary. It's actually Gray T Craps. Grady Craps. Is that correct?
Great craps, like great.
Yeah. Have you been here since the beginning? Because I kind of highlighted all the new channels. Have you been here and you
I have,
see
yes.
what I did? Yeah, good.
I had little camera technical difficulties of my own, but I've been here the whole time. So my last name's Gray, and it's a play on my name. So Great Craps. It's the way my family likes to spell her name.
Very cool.
That's how we go.
Well, welcome. Most of us here that have had channels for a while can help you. I am not an experienced crap player like Arnell and El Toro and Alfredo and even Brian. I'm a recreational craps player of 20 plus years. I've been playing seriously now since just before COVID, and then COVID hit and I got the table at home, and now that's the rest of the story. So welcome to the community. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You always want to check in the morning on this same channel for John's Coffee and Craps. It's 11 o'clock our time, but it's 8 o'clock out on the Pacific time. So you're welcome to the community, and please speak up whenever you want to say something. So let me see. Ron L. Ron, you still are muted. I thought you said you were leaving, so I don't know if you've left yet. If you unmute yourself, I'll go to you before we go to the questions. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to my friend Greg from Fives. Greg, you and Dice Dejan, by the way, just showed up in chat, Greg. I hope you're there and you two aren't talking on the phone. So you're doing a lot of work with Chris. So is there anything that you would like to tell us a little bit about some plans that you and the Dejan have?
Well, I mean, it's totally on Chris what he wants to do and when, but we are planning a weekly show. So if you want to tune into that, you can, if you guys aren't subscribed, you can be lucky number 555 subscriber there because he's just under. So get over there. We're going to be talking about subjects, different subjects, kind of like a talk thing like this, but our experiences and stuff like that, and cover just a host of topics, different topics, anything from tipping to strategy to whatever. And it's going to be a great time. You guys who don't know him, he is a tremendous craps mind. He's one of the most gifted people out here. So it's my privilege to be able to have a show with him. So guys, get on board. It's going to be a lot of fun, but you'll have to go to his channel for the specifics. I can't give you anything more than that.
And Greg, the difference between him, you and I, is that he's younger than us, much younger than us. And his mind is, he's a great sports-minded math person, I found talking with him. And he's also very technical savvy, too.
He is, absolutely. We've actually played hours on end, and he's just, I can't say enough about, I got to tell you, he may be the one guy who can get me into Dice Influence. He had a set
Oh my
I don't even
gosh.
know what the set was, but he threw. It was an all sevens type of set. He threw 14 sevens out of 20 rolls. I mean, I was just mind blown. So, yeah, I mean, great stuff coming on his channel. You guys got to tune in.
All right. Well, thank you, Greg. I'm going to ask El Toro if he's still here to unmute his mic, and I'll say a few words to him now that Brian, I believe, is still not back with us. Yep. Oh, he is back with us. I'll add you back to the screen here in just a second, Brian, but your audio is live. El Toro, welcome to the show. I know you've been here for about an hour. I know earlier you were driving. How are you tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good.
Any comments about what you've heard so far?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of watching, and I just don't know how Brian does it, really. I mean, to me, going to the casino and then doing a show, it seems like it'd be just too overwhelming for me, too stressful. But hey, kudos to him for being able to do it. You know, everybody likes it, so that's awesome. Then qualifying shooters. Yeah, I mean, I used to, when I first started, I used to qualify some shooters, but nowadays, really with when you look at how you design strategies, and it's kind of like what Brian said, you got a strategy for just about everything. I got a random shooter strategy. He's got one. And, you know, you just kind of play to the table.
Yep. Nope, you do.
Matter of fact, that's where I was at. I was just playing, actually.
Oh, were you? Well, welcome back. I know that you were in the last couple of times we talked. You were, trying to get your place set up so that you could do some new things. Are you any closer to producing some more videos? I ask you this every time, but for our viewers, maybe you could give us a timeline.
Yeah. No, I'm getting closer. I got the guy out there who's going to be shipping my stuff to me. I guess I was going to send one of my guys out to go pick it out, but apparently that didn't work out. So now I just got to get it shipped. But
well,
no big of it. Yeah, sure. I'll be starting doing some videos. Timeline wise, I don't know really. Just whenever it happens, right?
Right. Well, you've had a YouTube channel for quite a long time, and in today's world, you have to have an animal. Greg's got a cat. Brian's got the chickens. I've got a dog. So you've got to incorporate some type of mascot in there with you. I'm kidding, by the way. That's sarcasm.
Yeah. I could put my Jack Russell up there, I guess.
That'll work. Let me go down right below me to Skill, who's patiently waiting with and without his hat. Skill, anything you'd like to say to the panel before we get to the questions?
Not really. I appreciate everybody coming out here, but I'm looking forward to the questions. So let's get the show going.
Well, the show has been going, and for those of you that don't know, Dylan does sound Dylan has been a little bit under the weather, and he's doing a lot better, and my prayers go out to you and the entire family. Dylan, you've been through a little bit here the last couple of months, and I hope everybody makes a speedy recovery. So let me go ahead and head over to the questions, and let's see what's going to happen here. Brian, you're not going to believe this, but Dr. S has put this up here again. I think that's a hint. He would like to have the big kahuna shirt. I'm going to clear that one out of the chat so that we can get rid of that one. Let me see. So I'm going to scroll back to almost 2 hours ago. That's not going to be a question. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, but I want to tell everybody, if you have a question you'd like mentioned in the show, please put a Q. I've picked up on a couple that were questions but didn't have it. Capital Q and then your question, and I'll get to the question. So I don't know that I want to talk about YouTube production right at the moment, so I'm going to pass that question. Let me put this question up here. I don't know that this is a question that's for discussion, but I want to get it up here. What percent of the bet is the best hedge? For example, if you have $25 on the pass line, what is a good percentage of a craps check should you cover the bet with $2 or hop sevens? Well, you're going to get a mixed reaction from here because some people, zero. Some people are going to say absolutely not hedge at all. And I'm going to be called the light hedger, the light-sided hedger by Greg, which I love that name. But let's go ahead and talk about that. Let's talk about hedging bets and just in general. And John, since you started it, go ahead.
For a hopping hedge like that, like a one roll hedge, you never do it unless the amount you're betting, you're afraid to lose. So, for example, if you've got a $10 pass line bet, you're going to hedge it for $1 or $2. That's a complete waste of money. If you have $100 on the line and then $100 is going to hurt, you may consider a hedge. But honestly, you shouldn't be betting what you're so afraid to lose that you have to hedge for it. That's the bottom line to it. Like go with a lower bet on the line, go $10, don't hedge it, and then slam it with odds if you want to get that much action. But God, hedging is just write them a check. Don't do it. Especially from the don't. From the don't, especially don't hedge. If you're going to hedge the yo, you've got a 2-to-1 advantage of the 1 and the 2. The 7 is going to be your nightmare anyway. But if you're going to hedge it, you're just write him a check. That's my opinion.
All right. Anybody else want to jump on there on the hedging? Brian, looked like you wanted
Yeah, I
to
want
say
to talk
something.
about that. Yeah, I mean, hopping as a hedge, to me, I think it's like an ante to play the game. If you're hopping the 7s for $10 each, that's $30. 10 shooters, you're already paying $300 to play in that game. You got to look at it that way. 300, win or lose, your $300 is there. It's a slow bleed, like I said. It's going to eat you up. You got to have some gamble in your strategy, and trying to cover that small percentage of like maybe a 6% or 7% because you want to be fully hedged. It's really not worth it, because in the end of the whole round, you're down 300 and you didn't even, you don't even know what kind of shooter that was. But it looks like it's just, to me, it's like paying a $300 entrance fee on that table, which none of us would do that, right? So that's how I look at the hopping.
All right, let me go down to Greg. Greg, I know you hate hedges, so let's hear it from you.
Well, the way I look at it is a hedge is like insurance. Now, over time, insurance always loses. You're always going to pay more in premiums than you're going to get out of it. Now, there's 2 times that I'll do some kind of hedge. I'm not going to hop usually, but I'm going to hedge if, one, the bet amount is too large for me to risk, and that's rare because I don't like to play like that. But that's one case where I can see a hedge being useful. The other one is situationally, if I see an anomaly on the table. If I see that I'm on the don't and everybody's 7ing out, but I'm getting absolutely creamed on come out rolls, well, then I'm going to lay a 4, or I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something because I'm in that situation where the insurance makes sense. But as an overall strategy, I mean, it's a losing proposition, hedging. It just is. The math eats you away. It erodes your bankroll, and you're going to be a loser over time.
All right. Anybody else want to talk about hedging?
Yeah, I normally never hedge. I used to hedge when I bet the ATS. So if I got 5s across ATS, I'll do 4 red, 2 CNE, and it's basically a push. But lately, if I'm rolling myself, I've actually stopped hedging that because I'm not looking to throw a 7. Basically, that's why you see me working my come out rolls, because I'm just trying to make my money quick.
Nope.
But other than that, I never hedge.
All right, let's move on to another question here. Unless somebody else wants to talk about hedging. I mean,
yeah, I would just say because he tied it to the pass line, right? Like, get off the pass line if it's another shooter, so you're not worried about losing that money there. If it's you on the pass line because you want to play an ATS or something that you have to have that contract bet, that's your calculated risk. Make sure that you're on some numbers that you know you can hit in order to pay that off real quick, so you can get in your bank into your rack and you're paid off.
Oh, right. All right, let me go on. We'll go on to the next question here. Put this up here. It talks about, we talked about this before on a couple previous episodes, but the question comes from Steel Legion on YouTube. Lou, he wants to know how many of you keep a book at each table at the casino you play on as to which table you roll better on than others. We're not talking about keeping a book of the actual rolls somebody's making, but that do you track the casinos you regularly play out some way to know about the tables? I know my local here has changed the felt 3 times since January, and it's really affected both my friend Clay that I play with and me. Anybody want to take a stab at that? Know of anybody that does that? I'm going to take that a no, Lou. Okay.
Well, if no one's going to take it, I used to track the different tables I played on. But I find, like even with Vegas, like by the time I get back out there, the tables could be different because they changed the felt or something like that. So I usually, just gauge it on how I roll, my first roll at that table. And then that tells me, how I should adjust that table. But I don't keep track of table conditions. I may ask any of you guys or in the chat that may have been there recently to find out. But other than that, I don't keep track.
All right. Alfredo, you're a longtime craps player. Before the advent of computers and spreadsheets and stuff, have you tracked A, the table conditions, and B, do you ever track any of the players? I have a local that always writes every single roll of the dice down, and he comes back around and he uses it that way. But I don't think that's what this question's for.
Yeah, the table itself. There is one table that I won't play at the Orleans, or I'll play really low at, because that's the casino that I play at the most. In that it's just horrible for just taking money from everybody, and so I'll try to stay away from that table. I think it's table number 4 out of 6. Beyond that, when it comes to tables, if you treat the actual dealers well enough, they're going to wave you off when it's really bad, and you'll find that if you frequent a casino, they're going to tell you, hey, come back another time. It's not good right now, and that's a good way to do that. But to track stuff at the table itself, just go to the baccarat place, get a baccarat sheet. They'll give you a pen if you want to track rolls. Make it easy. You don't have to bring a book with you.
Huh. Great advice. Great advice. Anybody else want to talk about that? Tracking using pen and paper at the table of any topic.
Yeah, I'll take a crack at it.
Sure, go ahead, El Toro.
So I play at a lot of tables, and I played a lot of different casinos. And I don't track the tables at all. I don't track shooters. You do have a lot of locals that are always there. They're always the same people over and over. But you get to know them too after a while. You get to know who can shoot, who can't, consistently, right? But as far as the tables go themselves, a lot of times they do end up changing them quite a bit. But it depends too on the pit. Sometimes you go into the same casino and they got a different table open, and each table is different inside the craps pits. So it's hard to really track a table and write it down and say, okay, table 1 at casino A is where I'm going to go to, because if it's not open and then it's table B, well, then now what are you going to do? You're just going to go home, or you're not going to play? No, the approach I take is this. I just kind of feel the table. The first time around, I'll get a good shot of it myself and see how I shoot. If I'm on, I'm on, and if I'm not, then I'm going to have to make those adjustments. But a lot of times you just sit there and watch what's happening with the dice, and watch what the dice are doing with the other players.
No. I mean, I think that's great. I guess we could say that's a bit of a story and a bit of advice and some experience of the playing that you've done. I'm looking for some more questions, guys, because I'm kind of queuing them in a group. If you got a question for any of the panelists here, any of them, we've got some really good experienced crap players, and we got some novice craps players on here tonight. Please put a question in there with a queue. You guys are having added a lot with the chat, quite a bit, going back and forth. And if you want to join us, you still can join the show. You can join the show by just going to the description below and hitting the link, the Zoom link, or you can go to crapschat.com and click the thing that says join the show from that one as well. So let's go on to another question here.
There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of dice questions about the actual, where do you buy dice? We should probably address that. I was going to get to that.
Yeah, let's go ahead, John. You go ahead. I'm going to queue a couple up. You go ahead and talk about dice, and give me a second to queue them up.
Sure, and I think Jeremy said he's getting them. I've got a bunch. When guys have them for sale, Brian, I didn't get them from you last time, but when Jeremy has them for sale, I bought like 4 sets. Right, so if they ever go on sale from the folks in the community, just buy them up as you can. But I've been going to the casinos and just getting them out of the buckets. My local casino now, they're only like a day's worth of use, and they don't drill the holes all the way through. At least some of the casinos don't. Like the ones I got here, these are from the Circa. They've got like this little tiny scratch. Like you can't see it, but it's like the smallest little scratch on these things. They're basically brand new dice. They're so damn close to brand new that they may as well be new dice. And you get them for $2 a set or whatever you get there. They aren't perfect. You gotta go through the bucket and kind of hunt and get good ones, the sharpest that you can find. But for those of us who are like rookies, and I'm joking about it in chat, like it's like me throwing dice with range balls, right? I'm not very good, so I don't care if they aren't super sharp just yet. I'm working on release, grip, tension, velocity. So for the 90% of us that are not named George, they're okay. Right. When you start getting into you can tell a micron from a micron, then it matters. But honestly, I'm doing the casino dice right now because that's what I can find. And so for what it's worth, I got 75 sets of casino dice over here. All the ones I got from Brian and from Craps Nation and from Jeremy. I play with a set and I've got 4 or 5 sleeves locked up, just sitting in a cabinet somewhere just so I have them. But yeah, I really believe the bucket dice are fine for most of us. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't use the I don't use the Amazon dice or the dice I guess you get from the casinos with the punches in them. I get mine are from Midwest, so I just use those. I mean, I get both sizes. I play with both sizes. I practice with both sizes. And then that's the other thing too, right? Daytime, nighttime, casinos switch dice. They switch the dice sizes sometimes too. So you just got to get proficient with all of them.
Yep. Has anybody seen that? Have you guys been at a table where you've been throwing and they switch the dice out and you get smaller dice? I've literally felt that. Like people say that they don't cool shooters. 100% they cool the shooters down. I've had the bigger dice, smaller dice, mid, right in the middle of the table.
One of my locals always seems to run the smaller dice in the morning, and if I play at night, it's the larger dice. And I've never seen them bring it out during a hot roll, but I believe they do.
Morning dice and evening dice.
Yep. All right. John, I went back to queue some of the dice questions up, and I've actually unqueued them. So let's go ahead and talk about dice for a second. We've talked about Amazon cheap dice, regardless of whether they're made in China or wherever they're made. Casino-grade dice is what most of us here that we're practicing with. And I know that when Heath from the Craps Nation group, when he put out word that he's not going to be able to get them, and then Jeremy, who was on earlier, said that he's a wholesaler and he's got a shipment of them coming. Brian, you get your dice, and I think yours are casino-grade. Is that correct?
Yeah, we get it at the same place as Jeremy.
Okay. Well, when you talk about dice, if you're practicing at home and you're just doing a strategy, I don't really think the dice matters. You're just rolling them out to see a number. But if you're really trying to do some type of practice, and I always talk about, I'm not influencing the dice. I'm just basically being a rhythm roller, doing the same thing from start to finish. Once I release them, if I hit my landing spot, great. If I hit my landing spot right, they'll roll up against the back wall without hitting the diamond, and they'll come back. But I try to do what I can do, and there I think is where you do need a really good grade dice, whether they're 750s or 775s. So, John, I missed some of the other comments. I know that you were in there talking a little bit about it. Can you comment a little more about maybe something I missed?
Oh, that was basically.
I was going to ask where else do you get the dice from?
All right, go ahead. Ask that again, El Toro.
I was going to ask where else does everybody else get their dice from?
I don't think other than Midwest. I don't know. I mean, buying them off Amazon. Yeah.
It's been Midwest, but the problem is Midwest stopped selling them.
Yes, that's
Midwest Gaming stopped selling them to individuals. So that's a bummer that they stopped that.
Yeah, I just want to say for all you non-dice influenced people out there, if there are any besides me, I beat the hell out of my dice. I hurl them down the table, and John will attest to this. It's really, if I just get a pair of Amazon dice, honestly, I'm going to beat the hell out of them one way or another. And since I'm not trying to control it, I don't know that it's even worth the extra expense or trouble to get it. So if you're really not controlling, I wouldn't worry much about it. I have a couple of pairs of Amazon dice. They're just fine. They'll get the job done if you just want a set of dice to toss down the table.
Okay. All right.
I agree with that.
Go ahead.
That is, I
Somebody else
agree
have something?
wholeheartedly. If you're not trying to practice throwing, Amazon dice are fine, or casino bucket dice are just fine. You know, if you're a beginning thrower, I wouldn't go with Amazon dice. I would go with casino used dice, because all you want to worry about is your grip release, launch angle, velocity. Once you get good, like I said in chat, it's like practicing golf with range balls versus a professional golf ball, right? When you're still trying to figure it out, don't go spending $90 on golf balls. Buy the shitty ones from the bucket and use those until you figure it out.
Correct. Yes. Nope, I think so. So, as far as dice goes, Brian, if somebody was going to jump on your merch store today, is your inventory high or low?
There's none. There's no dice.
None. Zero.
Yeah, I wanted to put it out to the public, but all the Patreons bought them all up. Plus, I had to limit it to a pair for each page. That's how much it just got out. I just messed up on that last order. It's like got like 1/4 of what I thought I would have got. So, okay, I gotta go real quick. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right, no problem, Brian. Thank you. Let's go ahead and put another question up here. We'll move on to the next question. It comes from Hal. Hal's full of questions today. He says, do you always color up after a monster roll? Seems the table always empties after that roll. So we'll go around the panel on this one. And people in the chat, go ahead and put your comments up there, and I'll put a few of those up here as well. Do you color up after a monster roll? From my standpoint, it all depends on whether I'm getting ready to leave or not, but I don't color up after a monster roll. We've all been there when the table leaves and we finally get a spot at it, and the dealer's telling you that it was bad. Anyway, anyone want to take a shot at it? Dylan, are you awake? You want to talk about the coloring up after a monster roll?
Yeah, I don't mind. It varies. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. So it depends. But normally I don't, because I'm still going to be there, and I know I'm going to be there. But I'll rearrange my chips in the rack or what have you, to get a better feel of where I'm at. But coloring up, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But the majority of the time I don't. That's how I answer that one.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Alfredo, how about you? Do you color up after a monster roll, or what's your experience at the table when you've seen a monster roll, especially if you just had it?
Yeah, I think there's a number of things that go into it. So sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Some of the variables may be if I'm there solo and I'm not there with other friends that I know can shoot, I may not give it another go. But there are other times where I'm going to give it that, if you're playing a slot machine, that backup roll after you hit a bonus and see how it goes, but start small. And if it does run up, it does, then I'm going to do that. But I will tell you this. I do hit the cage one time around if things don't happen well. I'm going to go cash it out, and then I will come back. I'll take a little bit of a break and come back. I usually put in about 20, 30 hours when I'm in Vegas, so I put a lot of time in the tables.
All right. Arnell, any experience there with coloring up after being at the table of a monster roll? Were you having one?
Yeah, I mean, exactly the same as everybody else. It's going to vary. I've been at tables where nobody's shooting, and then you get this one monster roll, and I've been happy to color up right after. Or usually I'll give it, one or two other shooters. If it just goes bad, I'll be happy to walk out. I mean, I've walked out, just shooting the dice once and walking out in 15 minutes, so it just varies on how you feel that day. The key is don't give it back.
Correct. Yep.
Have
that's
that
what
discipline.
I think that discipline. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, Arnell. You took the words out of my mouth. You have to have the discipline. I like what Alfredo does is, you go and you color up and you hit the cage for a little bit and you keep some chips in your pocket and you keep some cash in your pocket and you go back and you start again. And Alfredo, you're probably like me. Locally here we have a casino, but if you have to go and you have to travel and you're going to put 20 or 30 hours in a week, and you don't have a backyard casino, I mean, there's probably people have different reactions to that color up side of a big monster roll. Because the important part of that is that you actually have to be on the winning side of that monster roll.
Oh, and they're gonna ask you what game were you playing, because you're gonna be cashing in chips that are higher than what the normal denomination is usually.
Yes. Yep. All right. Leon, we didn't catch you. He's with the guys that just joined us now. He's up in the upper right-hand corner of the actual screen from the Zoom thing. What is your craps experience from a standpoint of how long have you been playing? And I know your channel's brand new. Grady Craps is a new YouTube channel. But what's your experience?
So I went to Vegas in January for a trade show. It's funny, I lived in Vegas over 20 years ago, and I was too young then to gamble. But I went in January for a trade show and watched some folks play craps and roulette, and one person win about 16 grand in that course of 2 or 3 hours, and another person lose 10 grand in the course of about 2 or 3 hours. They were $25 tables at the win, and had no idea what I was looking at. So I got home and pulled up YouTube, and of course Jeremy popped up, and next thing you know, I'm definitely hooked. So at this point, I built my table. If I could ever find the time to shoot the video, I'll do a how this table's built video on it, and decided that I kind of probably, if I want to get involved in this community, I probably need a channel. So I started my channel. Just got one quick video out of the way, just a strat video, simple strat video out of the way, just to test a few things. I think probably the natural progression that a lot of you have all gone through at some point. And it seems to me like I hit this just right. If I look historically back at some of the channels out there, they've all come out since the pandemic, and it seems to me like I caught this wave of a resurgence of this game. So to me, that's pretty interesting.
Yep.
And there is so much content right now that I'm almost hesitant to start a channel and do any video. But I don't know where you all find the time, and I certainly have a hard time finding the time to watch all the content that's out there right now. So I'll say I'm a big fan of Waylon. I love his. I'm from the South myself, so I love his Southern drawl and his way of presentation, and just the simplicity of how he presents and shoots. Of course, I think I could say, like everybody, I watch Jeremy's stuff when his stuff comes out twice a week. And I've started watching John here a lot lately in the mornings. As I discover new stuff, it's like, hey, we don't have time to fit this in the middle of my day of full timing it.
There is
not
enough hours. Not enough hours. John, you want to make a comment?
Here's the best thing. So, all right. Yeah, Leon, the best thing about having a channel, and to anybody else out there, I see in the chat, we've talked about JR having a channel someday. Other folks have kind of toyed with the idea, do it. Have a channel and go live all you can. What's changed with me? So I've been playing craps since I was, 20, well, before I was 21, but let's call it 28 years now. I played a lot of craps in the casino. I've played more craps in the last year and a half since I started the channel. And, you think right? I can throw, I can bet, I know my strategies, whatever. On my morning show just this past year, I've probably had, what do you guys think? 10,000, at least 10,000 points that I've set and either made or missed. Probably 150,000 throws, at least this year. And all the strategies that you think are going to work, when you roll them out 70, 80, 100 times back to back to back every day live, you start realizing what doesn't work and what does work. And like a recent video I did said, crap sucks. Every strategy you have sucks. They all blow. You're going to lose money, right? But until you see it 10,000 times, 100,000 times like I've done, it really sinks in just how tough this game is. And it blows away everything you think about the game by going every day. You got to start a channel, roll live, do your thing, and you'll start locking into ways to play that you never thought before. And you'll see things that you thought were going to work that over time just don't work. Like the law of big numbers is now my life, because I'm into it. I'm into hundreds of thousands of rolls now, and I've seen with you all live every day what the law of big numbers does to craps. It's crazy. So you should. God bless you. I'm so happy that you're here and doing this. It's going to change your entire perspective on the game by going with videos every day. It really, really will.
Absolutely.
Actually, John keyed in on a couple things that I said. One thing I want to tell you is that it's going to be interesting to see your table build because there's some other table builds that are out there. And one of the first videos that John put out was on his table, which is not a average size craps table. If you look right behind him, that's his studio, and it's not that large, and that's his table. My table that's over here isn't a craps table; it's a studio table. It plays like one, looks like one, and it acts like one on TV or YouTube, if you will. But I think one of the best craps build tables videos that are out there, if you haven't seen it, it's Craps Master Journey. Joe has an excellent build series on building a table from scratch. And when he got done with it, it actually looked just like a real craps table and functions just like a real craps table. Chris over to Sideshow Gamble just spent a big chunk of change to have one delivered to his house, which is a professional craps table, and it works well. Arnell, that craps table that you have in your house, is that 12 or 14 feet?
It's an aircraft carrier, so it's a 14-foot.
Yeah, I thought it was a big one. Yep, all decked out with the lights and the counter and computers, and you got it all tricked out there. I like that. Alfredo, is yours a 12 or 14 foot?
It's a 14-foot. Yeah.
Yep.
Heavy as heck.
Yeah, mine's 10, and I built mine to mimic my local in my backyard. And like I said earlier, they changed the felt. The condition of the table so much, but I can still throw from the same distance. I know the height of the table. I know the distance of where I'm standing at stick left 1 or stick left 2. I always say I'm standing at stick left 1.5 when I'm sitting here throwing it. But I actually have a 10-foot table, and when I'm up against it, this right here is a wall, and that's what I'm up against when I throw the dice. It's like me standing next to Clay because he's a big guy. So that's a joke. He's not here. He's in Atlantic City. So I'm interested to see your video, Leon, and. Well, I've already subscribed to your channel. I got your request for the chips, so we're going to get those things out here. Let me see if there's another question here. There's a question just came up. Oh, it's a DI question from. Let's put it up there. I haven't read this all the way through, so we're going to switch gears. Let's go ahead. This comes from Jim Badger87, who's been on all of our shows, and he's played live on my channel many times. And that is stupid question. If the casino is not worried about the DI or whatever, why do they switch dice out or even get rid of them, even drilling holes or marking them? And I'll even go as far to say one of my locals has a sign, Jim, if they're worried about and they don't believe in it, has a sign that says when the dice are pushed to you, you have 5 seconds to release them. So anybody want to comment on that question?
It's a simple question, really. The brand new dice are super sharp, and they dig into the felt, and they bounce weird, right? And they want them to do that. So the longer the dice are played, they have a more tendency to slide, and they don't want that. So that's why they change them out more often. The reason why they mark them up is so that you can't buy them, weight them, and bring them back and slip them into the game. So that's a game protection thing. They mark them up or they drill holes in them so that you can't take them home, come back with a weighted die that looks the exact same, and drop it into the table. That's to stop cheating. The drilling of the holes is to stop cheating. I think they change them out to keep them sharp, which makes them dig, which makes it harder. That's my opinion on it. I think that's why they do that.
Yep. I think El Toro was going to make a comment.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The reason they change those dice out is exactly what I think too. They want the sharp edges, they want the sharp corners, they want those things to catch and go in different directions. I was going to say earlier too that I do actually color up throughout the game, and if I can get $500 chips here and there, just keep putting them in my pocket. It's easier to carry around than a bunch of black chips and green chips all over the place. But yeah, the underlayments get changed out. They're starting to put signs up there, no dice setting allowed. They're trying to keep the speed of the game going when everybody's losing, obviously. But whenever you get someone like me at the table, the funny thing is they'll do everything in their power to slow it down. But to me, it doesn't bother me today. Like today, I was sitting out there and some guy was just losing his shit. I was just staring at him going, relax, dude. I'm not worried about the dice. I'm not worried about the time. None of that affected me. It was affecting him, and he wasn't even shooting. He was to my left. So, I don't know. I don't know why they do that. If they don't believe in it, then why do they do it?
Well,
go ahead, John.
Rolls per hour is the rolls per hour is a big thing, right? We talk about house edge all the time, and the house edge is, you think about the house edge, it's small. Even like a 5% house edge, like you have on the 5 and the 9, right? You're not talking about a lot of money over the course of your particular roll, but over the course of the day, if rolls per hour go from 100 to 40 or 100 to 60, that house edge adds up as a negative to the casino. That's why they want them to go fast. The more rolls they get per hour, the better off they are. When there's more money on the table, like you're saying, Toro, they probably want to slow that down a little bit. Don't give you a chance to win the big bucks, right? So I think they probably will slow it down the higher the bets get, because they're worried about losing bigger
absolutely.
money.
More
faster,
money on the table,
right?
the slower the game gets.
Yeah,
All of a
exactly.
sudden,
But when
dealers
it's a
forget how to
regularly
count back
paced
money.
game, yeah,
And El Toro,
and all
that's
sorts of
why
things
I
happen.
asked,
But when it's a regular paced game, yeah, that's
I asked my
rolls per
my
hour is a
local
big
why
deal, and that's where house edge works, right?
I asked my local why the sign was there, because they have some other rules too, and why they say the 5 second. And they say that has nothing to do with dice set, and has everything to do with the rolls per hour.
Oh, yes, that's true. They want to keep that game going.
Yes, they do. All right, guys.
Hey, Jeff, can I chime in on this one?
Sure, go ahead, Greg. Yeah, by no means. I thought you'd fallen asleep.
No, I'm here. I think the reason why they are so adamant about having the dice sharp and everything is, I mean, it's simple. They just want to ensure a random game. But it just doesn't stop there on craps. If you go to the blackjack tables, the cards get used a certain amount of time, and so they're not marked. They eventually they come out of the cycle, they get punched, and they get removed from the table. So they have an interest in keeping everything uniform. I don't think they're targeting dice influence specifically. I think their main purpose is they want to have a random game. So they change the dice out regularly to ensure that. Now, on the other side of that, I don't think they believe that dice influences are hurting them at all. Because if they did believe that, then it would be a very simple matter. They can just ban it entirely. I happen to know a very high-level person in a casino that I frequent, and he told me it's rolls per hour. So they want rolls per hour. They also don't want other players getting irritated by the slowing down of the game, because there's a lot of superstition on a craps table, Jeff. So they don't want that, and of course they make their money on rolls per hour. And the reason they change everything out is not to punish a dice influencer; it's to keep a random game. It's just that simple.
Yep.
Yeah, but I would say, to Jeff's point, right? The Wild West isn't the dice. The dice are controlled. They have to have a pass certification. That Gaming Commission actually does come in when it comes to that. The layouts are 100% up to the casino. They can shorten their table. They can make it more bouncy. They can put anything they want under it. And you see them more and more frequently continue to change it. They're not changing it because they just want to put new curtains up. They're changing it because they're getting hit, and they're trying to see what works best for them, and they're doing different things. So I think that's the bigger thing there. But they actually like dice influencers, and here's the thing. People take money out of their pocket because they start to see people making more money. It stays in their rack. The reason why you want to watch shows like this is you need to go and color up, right? Because when the money comes out of your wallet and never hits the cage, you end up losing it all. And that's actually what ends up hurting. People see a big roll, and then they overhedge beyond what they would have normally spent because they saw all these people make money, and they lose everything.
You done missed the train at that point.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, they usually switch the dice out for shift changes. Is what I see.
Area there, you play in the Chicago area, right, Arnell?
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to them, and they always tell me they switch the dice out. Like the ones that are open 24 hours, they'll switch out new dice on shift changes.
All right. Guys, I've got a couple more questions here. There's a gentleman here who said he's worked for casinos for 15 years and he's actually looking for some craps equipment. I think there was a couple people that answered him. I'm gonna put this up here, but there's several places to go. I bought my stuff from a Estes location. There are professional places you can buy them. I believe Chris from Sideshow's here now, and he actually put in the chat where he bought all of his stuff from. But there's multiple places to get craps equipment and a build. And if you're looking for a nice build table, I'm going to promote Joe again. Joe's video on building his table was probably the best one I've seen. If you're looking for a small table like John put together, he got his stuff from the same place I did. Ironically, we got it at about the same time, and we didn't even know each other then. So there are places out there that you can find stuff.
And you control YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook. I got my full-size table from a guy sold it. He bought it from a casino. I bought it from him on Facebook. So I have a full-size table too that's casino used. It wasn't terribly expensive. It was expensive, but it wasn't, a bank breaker. But I think, Casino Supply is great. Casino for You, hit or miss depending on what you're looking for there. But Casino Supply has been great. Spinetti's has been great for me.
Yep.
Yeah, there's plenty of good supply shops you can get. I think Gambler's General Store. I'm not sure if they're more retail or more wholesale, but Spinetti's has definitely got some wholesale stuff, as does Casino Supply.
Yep. And typically when we go along with that question we get, where do you guys get your custom chips from that are made for either collectors or you play with them? And John, I know you got yours from the latter part of what you just mentioned just a second ago is where you got your chips. And I got mine from chiplabs.com. I mean, there's a whole slew of places to get chips, expensive chips and cheap chips as well. So let's move on because I want to talk about.
Hey Jeff, can I ask a question? I'm going to replace my whole set of chips. Let me ask the chat if they've had experience with PokerChips.com. I think I'm going to go there for my next set because all my other ones are basically gone, and I want clays. So I'm not sure if any of you have bought clay chips custom, and what your experience has been like.
Mine are not. They're the composite, but they look very similar to clay. You got one, John, so you know what it looks like. It's not. It's hot stamped. It's
my
not
composites. They're so slippery. That's the problem. They're slippery. They aren't the same weight. And when I'm dealing at home, I have so much trouble with these composites. They're just not the same.
All right. Guys, if you're asking about a question, please put a Q in front of it. I've passed a few here. There's one topic I want to hit on, and that's the next Craps Chat show and football conflict. But we're going to go ahead and head on to this next question, and we'll come back to it. We've already pushed over the 3-hour mark again. Good for us. Let me see where it went to. Oh, my goodness. I had it queued up here, and then I got rid of it. Maybe I didn't queue it up here. I don't want to talk about YouTube channels just yet. Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys. I apologize for that. Just did come in. And this kind of goes with I got ready to say poker etiquette, with craps etiquette. And that is, I feel players that come in during the puck when it's on is a big delay, and late betting too. Back off us dice setters. I don't think that dice setting people do that when the puck is on. I think you got to go along with just the general craps etiquette and know what to do and what not to do. I had an experience last week where I had a gentleman who always plays stick right out, and I like to throw my dice in a specific spot. And I asked the person to move his chips, and he was going to move his chips, and the box man said no, he didn't. I turned my bets off. I had $420 in play across the board. And I said, turn my bets off. Never hesitated. Picked it up, chunk them down there, just like Greg style, 5-5-5, 7 out. Table got mad at me, but I was a little frustrated with the box man, not with the player. And so if you take poker, craps etiquette, and you put it all together, how does everybody feel about when somebody comes in and slides their card and cash on the table when the puck is on? I personally hate it. I don't typically react the way I did the other day, but I was on a roll, and I knew I was due for the 7 anyway. I typically am not that type of person, but I can tell you the table was not happy with me and the box person.
Yeah, for me, I don't care. As long as the dice is in the middle, whether the puck's on or off, do whatever you want. As long as the dice is in the middle.
a good box person can take that money and color it up, and the game can continue while they're setting the chips out. They don't have to necessarily stop the game. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, Jeff? You're spot on there.
It's poor etiquette.
It's poor etiquette, but you need to be prepared for it. That's going to happen every single time you're at the casino.
Yeah, it's poor etiquette.
But you can't help
it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me at all. Not in one way, form, or fashion, personally.
I think it's up to the people at the table to
because
educate that person, right?
Yes, I agree.
Right?
I agree with all three
We
of
have
you.
to educate those people. But the box man, if it's a rookie crew, can screw that whole thing up. You're right. If the money's out in the middle of the table and they're taking forever, good box people just take the money in and you don't even notice it. I don't know. The dark sider doesn't matter.
I just think it's all superstition, guys.
Yeah, you just need to. You need to be used to that. That's going to happen at the table. When someone comes and butts up against you or something like that, tries to squeeze in and you're the shooter, I think that's a bigger faux pas than anything else. But then they're really physically getting in your space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but if you're, I was gonna say DI or not, right? You have a rhythm when you shoot, or as a person, you have a human rhythm to you, and when your rhythm gets broken, it just sucks. Whether it's actionable or not, probably not. I'm sure it's not actionable. Doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. That didn't cause the 7, but your personal life just got worse because somebody got in your way, touched you, made you wait 30 seconds longer. Like that, it just, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole, the vibe goes down, and I don't like that. So, but again, a good table can take care of a good crew takes care of that for you. And the people on the table have got to take care of the idiots.
Well, sometimes they're not idiots, John. Sometimes they're just new, and I think educating the person is the right way to go. And I've seen experience. Yeah, they are. I've seen experienced dealers say to the person, just he'll take the cash and put it off to the side, and then after the hand or that shot is over with and he's done all, he told the person, next time wait for this puck to be in the off position. But you always got the person that notices that they're on a good roll. Either the majority of the all tall small is made and they know they're in the middle of a good roll and they want to jump in and catch the end of it. But it is what it is. So let's move on, guys. I don't want to shut this down. I'm actually impressed my headsets have lasted this long because they're new. I think John and I have the same type of headsets again, and we didn't even talk about it. I want to talk about football season, not from a standpoint of John's Discord and the fantasy football league that he and Chris from Dice Dejan are trying to put together. Guys, get into Discord on Casino. Just go to casinogaming.tv. It'll take you right to the Discord. If you don't have one, sign up. If you got one, get into John's Discord. You'll find out a lot of information. I have a Discord as well, but we're doing a couple different things. But when it comes to football, on this Craps Chat, we're going to run up against football season. This past Thursday and Friday night with some live shows. Friday night Craps, the big showdown between John, by the way, who's the current king of the mountain, beat Carl from the Color Up Club. And John, I don't know who you play again next week. I looked at earlier today, but I can't remember who it is.
It's
but
allegedly Dave. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yep, allegedly Dave. And we were down on viewership, and there was a couple games going on because our box man, despite what he said, had the Phillies game on, but he was doing well. So I'd like to talk about what everybody would like to do. Maybe John, in the next couple of weeks or next couple of days, when we get into the real football season, when it starts, you can ask during your morning show what does people want to see about this show. Stay on Sunday nights at the same time. Move to a different night. We did Saturday nights. Sunday nights seemed to work, but we had made it past into the playoff side before we got into this show. So I want everybody to keep that in mind. You can put it in the chats if you want to, or send an email to me at jeff@midatlanticcraps.com. Real simple email is talk@crapchats.com. But let me know what you want to do, because we have to plan these things out. This is the only show in August. Our next show won't be until after Labor Day. I did want to put that out there. So panel-wise, what do you think about football? Are you football fans, and do you see this interfering with the show?
I do. Football's life for me, man. I love football.
Okay, there's a vote.
I'm
vote for
in
John.
favor of a different time. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
I would still watch it, whichever day you go with.
Yeah,
You're a
you can watch it.
multitasker
Just
like
put
me,
like the
Arnell.
score. Put the score on the side. I mean, come on. Unless your
we
team's
actually-
playing, you're probably not heavily invested unless you have some friends over.
Well, Alfredo, it's funny that you mentioned that because I told John or somebody the other day that this little scrolling thing that I have that pops up here, I can actually insert the scores just like they do on TV and have the have the scrolling of the scores. But a lot of people want to see the action; they want to see the play. So
Well, maybe you could have it on your screen and do like a little play-by-play. You're already the voice, right? I mean, you're our Chris Berman over here, so.
Well, I don't know about Chris Berman, but I can't remember who coined me the voice on the Crapsathon last year. But Waylon calls me the Eli Gold, so there we're back in football again. If you talk about Alabama, so I'm with Arnell. I'll do it anytime. I even put up here in one of the channels in the corner up here. You tell me what game you want to watch, and we'll stream it. I don't know if that's legal or not, but we'll put it up there. But I can get the scores to go across the bottom, relatively easily. So in the chat, please tell me if you are for or against moving the show from Sunday night to another night. Obviously, John's going to interfere with John, and probably if Seattle's playing on Sunday night, he definitely would not be here. Maybe other time parts if they were playing. But you're on the West Coast, we're on the East Coast, John. So it's it's difficult. One time I went to Lake Tahoe. And football was on at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, "What the heck?" So
at 10 a.m. football is great,
anyway.
man. I love it.
Yeah. All right, so I just want to know what some people would like to do about Craps Chat, and we would like to also, before we wrap this up tonight, we would also like to get more people like the gentleman that was here, Ron, that was here. I didn't get to ask him many questions, and I don't want to discourage just the viewers from coming on the show. But we don't need to have just YouTube content providers on the show. We'd like to have some viewers. It's great that you're in the chat, and I just did look at the chat feed, and we're approaching 1,000 chat messages again in this time period. But I can't stay up with the chat, and I even have a touch screen computer next to me now, so it's thinking that I was going to be able to queue and put them up faster, but I just haven't been able to. So with that said, guys, let me just go see. Most people don't care about the show. They're going to do both, watch this show and watch football. So, John, we just won't have a show when Seattle's playing Sunday night. How's that?
There you go. You don't need to hear. You guys hear me every day. You don't need me on these Sundays. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, let me just go over and make sure I got rid of this. To Chris from Sideshow Gamble, that was not here because he put in a long day working today, and Midmo Yo, who was here, those two are bantering back and forth, and I just want to reiterate what happened here. Guys, you probably missed the beginning of the show. Churro says to Midmo, he's ready, he's making room for the table, and Sideshow Gamble was saying that he needs to get that new fedora from Churro. So that was a little banter amongst the crew here at Craps Chat. We put it together. You guys probably missed it. A little too long when I edited the videos, but it all worked out. And I'll say it to both of you since you both are here. I would be welcome to be one of the dealers on one of the 5 nights to roll that thing out for you. I think it should be not one of your strategies. I just think you two should go head to head. Maybe just 36 rolls with a starting bankroll, and the best 5 wins. And nothing against that, Chris, but I hope the table goes to Churro. So we need somebody to start a line odd on who's going to win that. All right.
We should.
That said,
hey Jeff, if Churro wins, we should collaborate somehow and find a way to do like a super chat fundraiser kind of thing to pay for the shipping.
Yeah,
because I'm sure that from Denver to Missouri, it's going to cost an actual fortune to get that table over there. So if Churro does happen to win this thing, let's work something out. Let's find a way for us to help pay for that shipping.
Yep, we can do that.
That's going to be John. It's going to be more than table for. Yeah.
I know that you're going to cringe when I ask this because I asked it every time. Last year you did a wonderful Crapsathon, raise money. I know that you're struggling because you mentioned to Brian earlier about finding a casino that'll work with you. You do have the access to Casino Quest. It's probably not big enough for what you want to do. However, you know that people, I get people ask me all the time because I'm going to do another one on my Pay It Forwards Tuesday night. I just haven't said what time I'm going to go live. So if you want to be on the Pay It Forward, you can. I do want to say here that the 3 people that have won so far on my Pay It Forward have all donated the money back to your calls. Is there any update on the Cure for Craps?
The update is that for right now, it's going to be at Casino Quest. I don't have a date yet. I'll work with them and get an exact date, but there's no way to do it in a casino. We aren't Brian, so we're not getting any love at all. There's too many hurdles to jump through to get it to work. So it's going to be a Casino Quest. It will not be for real money. So all the gaming that we do will be for funny money. We're going to have Casino Quest students be our dealers. We'll have actual dealers to play with us. We'll be able to break it up in terms of live challenges, not just betting challenges, but throwing challenges and this kind of random stuff. So we'll make it a fun 24-hour show from a table this time.
Well,
so that's the plan.
John,
I don't have a date. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm good at raising money for charities, and you and I will talk offline if that's where it's going to be. All I would need to know is, can you tell us like a season, like give us summer, fall, winter, or spring, and nobody starts singing.
It'll be between fall and winter. I'm picturing again like last year November timeframe.
Okay.
And I might actually try and do it. Yeah, no, this year, yeah. Ideally, and it depends on Casino Quest. Ideally, I want to target about the weekend of November 12th. I think it's Veterans Day. That's also my wife's birthday, so we can get to celebrate her birthday, do this 24-hour thing. I want to have a military veterans kind of bend to it as well as raising money for cancer. So we can kind of tie a lot of things together at once there. And obviously it's Vegas. So if we get a date, everybody can come and make it not just me talking for 24 straight hours like I did last year, which was cool. But, do I need to be talking for 24 straight hours? You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want us all out there blowing that place up. And I wish it was for real money. I wish we could do it at a casino with real money and actually have casinos match the wins and that kind of thing. But it can't. It just can't happen. There's too many things to jump through to make it work in a reasonable time frame. And frankly, Steve from Press by One, who's the guy that has the cancer, like we want to do this for him and for his cause. And so time is of the essence. I mean, it's not like, he's got a cold.
Nope, I
right?
understand.
So, I mean, we want to get this done quickly. So I want to make sure that we're aware of that. And that's my plan right now is to do it at Casino Quest, either at the mall location or at the school, most likely, and have them all in. And David's awesome. David's like, whatever you guys want to do, let's just figure it out. So we just got to figure it out.
All right. Well, thanks.
Nice DJ
thanks
can be in Vegas
that.
in November. Yep. I'm glad that question got great. It's going to force us down the road for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me.
Jeff,
I had to cue this one up because I had. I'm sorry. What was that?
Jeff, can you sing for the Cure? We'll all sponsor you a couple of dollars a piece, and
no, I'm not.
You know what? We are doing that, Greg.
Hey, I tell you what.
No. Let's put it down right now. Jeff, me, Greg. We're doing a triplet, and if we get one more person, we'll do a little quartet, and we'll sing some random ass song. How much fun would that be? Once we hit $10,000 or something, we're all going to sing. Now you got to get to Vegas.
Get you started right now. Whoa!
Oh
no! Longest for the longest time.
For the longest time.
Longest for the longest. If you said goodbye to me tonight, well, that's how we would do it.
Oh, Greg, that was great. I was going to tell John. I'm not going to sing, but I'll play the guitar, and John can play the bass, and I can travel with my guitar, and I use an effects pedal board that's everything involved. We just got to plug to the front of the house. John, I got one for the bass too. If you need one, all you'd have to bring is the guitar. We could do it right there. Casino Quest, Greg could sing, and you and I could do something. I'm not accepting that challenge, but we'll see what happens. Real quick, this question, Alfredo, I think you already answered it. When are you coming to Chicago, and where are you gonna play at? Did you already answer that in the chat, Alfredo?
Yeah, I answered it. Arnell's the local from Chicago, so hey, you might have another person to play with. Tom525. Send over your info. We'll definitely hook up. We're looking for a few people to meet up with us. It's going to be not this upcoming weekend, the next weekend. I'll be in Chicago. Going to stay at the Blue Chip, but we're going to hit and run everywhere.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah, all the northern Indiana casinos, and we'll definitely check out my home casino.
Jeff, I think you missed the point here. If you could sing, it wouldn't be much of a challenge.
I can't sing.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. I can't either. You don't see that stopping me.
Oh my God. I just hope we don't get a copyright for you singing that song.
Oh. No. You can actually sing a cover of a song. You will not get copyright.
Your voice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm thinking about this as I just typed in chat. As dumb as this sounds, because we're going to be in Vegas, why not do some non-crapsy stuff too, right? I was thinking, me, my son, who's a huge kid, and D-Gen have like a long drive challenge at some driving range, like Top Golf or something. Like we can incorporate a lot of fun stuff besides just craps to raise money. And I'll put $1,000 up right now. My son's out driving D-Gen. I'll put it up right now. My son can freaking hit the ball. Oh my God, easily. So that, and I know D-Gen is like a pro.
Hey, content creators, I'll just shoot something out there to you. I put a video out of I think it's 3 seconds or of a slow motion toss just before this started, and it already has 1,400 views in like, I don't know, whatever the 3-hour increment is. More views than I've ever had on anything that I put out, and it's 3 seconds. So less is more.
Yep.
Well, the thing of it is you've hit on the whole, it's clickbait, right? My number one video is a better iron cross than the iron. All people search for is the freaking iron cross and how do I make $1,000? That one and the how did I lose $50,000 today video are my two number one videos. They both are the worst videos I ever made. Literally, you stumbled on the YouTube secret, which is short clickbait, boom, slow motion dice toss for the win. That's awesome.
Well, all you can do is look at the most popular YouTube crap strategy on YouTube, which is appropriately named the most popular crap strategy on YouTube. I think that's probably why it has so many views.
Question: I've got a slow motion video to show you, Fredo. That it's my chopper toss where I literally. They land, they bounce, and the other die hits the wall and lands right on top of the other die and spins on top of the other one. I'm waiting. That's going to be my viral video. That's going to make me a million.
There you go.
I'm just.
All right, guys, we're going to close the show down with this question here. It was asked quite some time ago by Greg. It actually says 3 hours ago, and Dice Dr. Dan, he may still be here because he's in Vegas. They were talking about the Kevorkian roll or throw. Greg, do you want to talk about what you and I talked about in text earlier today?
Yeah, it was hilarious. We were on your show earlier, me and Dice Dr. Dan, and he was talking about how he was playing at Big AZ's channel last night. So he was basically getting killed, and he just wanted to put himself out of his misery. So he played, what was the set? Wait, I wrote it down because I don't do this. Oh, yeah, the 1-2-4-1 set. So I said, and apparently Big AZ rolled a 7 the first shot he picked it up. So I said it's assisted suicide. So we actually decided together to call it the Kevorkian set. So anyway, we were on your show earlier, and I suggested to you, I guess you didn't see the rest of the chat, I suggested that you roll that set. And you were on the come-out roll, first roll of the game with Dylan there, and you guys were working on all your bets, and you threw a 6-1-7 using that set the very first roll. So it was hilarious.
Yes, it was. Yep, and I saw Dan put that in there earlier. Welcome, Clay, to the latecomers to the show. I think you've missed a good show. Let me put this up here. Darnell's putting some information out, I guess, about a meetup that they're doing somewhere in the Chicago area. You need to get up to people that ask those questions. You need to get up with either Alfredo or Arnell from Dice Grinders, and they're going to be having a meetup at some point. So, guys, look, it's 11:35 p.m. on the East Coast. I start this thing at my time. It's about 7:45 when I come into the studio and start winding things up. Arnell and Alfredo have been here since like 7:35, sitting there patiently. And Arnell's not left the screen. Alfredo, you did. So we're going to go ahead and kind of like start wrapping this up. I don't have a date for the next one. It will be after Labor Day. I just unfortunately I'm going on vacation next week, and I am going on a cruise, not a craps cruise. I'm just going on a cruise. I will be playing craps on it. I'll probably do a couple of short videos from some trip updates from that when I'm out and about. But I want to push these channels that are out here now. I'm Mid Atlantic Craps on YouTube. John is Pro Craps, and this is the Casino Gaming TV Network. We got Dylan from Skill and Luck Craps. We got Arnell from Dice Grinders, and I'm not sure where Grady Craps is going. He kind of like went sideways on me there. Leon, brand new channel up. Alfredo's channel is doing really good things. He's an experienced craps player with a great setup. Alfredo, you've got a great channel. I would like everybody to at least go out there and consider putting some of these channels and liking and subscribing them. I'm actually looking for my slide for that, and I can't find it. Here it is. I'll put this up while I continue to talk. These were the new channels that I found that have subscribers, and I've listed their subscribers. Don't let their low subscribership let you down that they're not going to be there with great content. Crooked River Craps, Dice Dr. Dan, Old Bay Craps, Grady Craps, Grady Craps, BGS Dice Den, Silver Craps, Silver Fox Craps, Golfer 2408. We haven't seen him here, but he's got 300 subscribers. Don't Pass Craps is strictly a don't side website. I haven't seen all of his videos, but I've seen some of them. Craps Energy is a female. Dylan's familiar with her. And then we got, of course, Texas Crap Shooters doing some good things out there. We hope that they all have great success with their show. So in wrapping it up here, guys, I'm not going to get to the last question, which was about YouTube content and how long it takes for us to make a video, but I am going to put this one up here. Guys, this is teamwork. You don't have to thank me for putting this together. It's a great group of guys that come almost religiously almost every week. Some of you have been here every week. Some of you haven't been here every week. Some of you are new, but I don't take credit for putting this together. Dylan, right down there, he's awake now. Dylan is the creator and the thought process of that. John provides the platform. I'm the voice. I narrate the thing. You guys make the show. It's all about teamwork here, just like as if we're playing together at the casino. We all want to win. So with that, let's go to El Toro. We'll give you the first final word. If you unmute yourself and you want any words of wisdom for us young whippersnapper crappers. Let's see if he's still with us or not. He's muted at the moment. All right. Let's go to Greg. Greg, final words.
Yeah, guys, I just want to tell you what an honor it was being with you guys here tonight. Brian, good friend of mine, Hawaii crap shooter, and all you guys. It was a wonderful discussion. Great community. I love every one of you. Thanks for letting me be a part of it, Jeff. I appreciate it.
As always, Greg, my friend, you're welcome. Let's go up here to Leon, brand new Craps channel, Grady Craps. Last words from you.
Great craps, a great show.
Yep. All right. Gray T with a T. That's Gray T Craps. All right. Alfredo, my friend, you've been all over the place this past week. Big AZ, some monster shows, 3-hour plus shows, 2 or 3 nights in a row. You played with me a couple times. You've been in the Crapsies. Oh, my God, you've been all over it this week.
Yeah, no, it's been fun, and I have a couple big weeks ahead, right? So going to be in Vegas Thursday through Sunday. I'll be over in Chicago with Arnell Friday. Don't know if we're going to hook up on Friday or Saturday morning, but I'll be available Friday evening through Sunday before I have to come back here to San Antonio, my home base here in Texas. Right. And Mike, shout out, hey, Mike, the one that you had before that you put there on the comment, Michael, he had a monster roll yesterday on live, 35 plus rolls. And it was all tall, small hit. Just amazing folks that I get to play with, and I can't wait to be able to meet up with them live to be able to take down some big ones.
I had jumped off that show right when he started that roll. I had gotten out when you guys were going through that last 7 out when he was taking the dice. I had jumped off the show there. But yes, great content. Alfredo, on your show there. Arnell, Dice Grinders, Wednesday night, live fantasy craps. It seems like you got more players and players. I've only played with you one time. Wednesday nights is kind of a bad night for me, but I watch you almost weekly. I may not be able to stay there the entire time, but man, did Ed have a roll, or what happened this week with Ed on that roll?
Oh man, he's a beast. He just went off. He's always
and we're talking about
whenever he gets on and Sarge, they always want to go table max. So it's interesting when he gets on those rolls, trying to keep up with them, because it's interesting how the betting progression goes to try to hit like table max. So that's kind of fun. I mean, I've never hit table max at the casino, but it's fun to play around and try it out. And
well, what is your table max?
Well, normally we do 5,000 for table max. So we've hit that like a couple times during live fantasy craps. I'll definitely be subscribing to all those channels that I'm not subscribed to that you posted up. And another great show. Definitely look forward to playing with any of you guys in the future here.
All right. Thank you, Arnell. I appreciate you hanging in there. You and Alfredo, you guys beat skill here. You beat dialing into the green room, and we had that show start real early. Up to John. John, your final words, and what do we have in store this week for Coffee and Craps?
Sure. A couple of things. One is to get sappy, of course. I love all the community, love everybody. All the new channels are great. Make sure we all get subscribed to the new channels, and also watch videos and like them. Like Duracell always says, like the videos. Drop a comment. Whenever you get a chance, like it, drop a comment just to say hi. It matters. Like, YouTube cares about the engagement level, and it makes the channels grow. It gives us incentive to keep going. So just support the channels. Duracell is the poster child for this. Get out there and do your thing. From a personal standpoint, Coffee and Craps this week will be shorter shows. I'm going to go 8 to 8:40, or 8:05 to 8:45 every day. I have a teacher that called in sick to work, so this whole week I've got to be at work at 9 o'clock, so can't be late. So it'll be short shows. Yeah, that's it for me. Looking forward to the telethon. We're getting fired up here. I'll have more information as we go, but yeah, that's going to happen. And
right.
Ken Brown, by the way, in chat, has taken the role on of being the official, whatever you want to call him. I guess he's the Chris Rock of our show now. He's going to be the Crapsy cat, the Crapsy goes to best strategy, best this, best that, best whatever. We're gonna have an award show as part of the telethon. Ken, his idea, he's running it. He just got hired. The pay is zero. The stress. So there you go.
All right, I'm going to talk before I give it the dial-in, because I want to remind everybody that I want to thank John for allowing me to present this show from Dial-In and myself to be able to be here on the Casino Gaming TV YouTube channel. I know John has great plans for some more things to come. It's just you got to crawl before you walk. So for you new YouTube content providers, you got to crawl before you walk. Learn the technology. Let's get this down. Let's get the shows right. This show has, if you've seen the first couple episodes of this, it never went this smoothly in the beginning, but we seem to have gotten there. It's taken us 14 shows. My show coming up on Tuesday night, my show is a not-for-profit. I'm pushing to 1.5 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to do a special promotion at 1.5. But Tuesday night is the next Pay It Forward, and I want to tell everybody out there that the Pay It Forward, what I do is I take my monetization and my super chats and I give it right back to them. There'll be 2 winners. You Crapsy people might want to tune in. If you're playing Crapsy, that's a hint. You might want to tune in for that show. So before we end the show, down below, he's awake. He's with us, the creator of the show. Dylan, you have the final words before I give the outro.
Hey, well, thank you all for making it another enjoyable show. And Crapsy has been taken over by storm, so I just wanted to, highlight that all the YouTube contenters are using Crapsy now, and it's really I like playing it, and it makes it fun. It makes it easy. It's not overwhelming at all. The buttons are easy to mess with, and so I was, when Arnell was doing his live fantasy craps on Wednesday, I jumped in there, and he's incorporated the Crapsy. I know that Jeff's incorporated the Crapsy on that, and a lot of other people are getting on that bandwagon, and it just makes the community and the craps community even better. So I think it's a really great tool to use, and I'm looking forward to pushing that out. So thank you all very much for coming and participating, and I can't wait till next time. So thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you very much, John, for letting us do our thing. And go ahead, John. I have been sick, and I'm still trying to get over this stuff. I don't know how long I'll be down for it, but I am. Oh, the other thing was Chiro and Chris from Sideshow. That's so cute that they're going at it like that.
Awesome.
We don't even know what really kicked it off except the fedora hat. So I put on my little hat today just because I thought that they would be both on with hats and stuff, and I thought it was going to be cute. So I was going to join the little hat brigade. So I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway,
I think it's great.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to those different little things getting resolved, and but thank you all very much for your thoughts and prayers, and for me and my family. This COVID is nothing to play with. It's ran through. I've been in the hospital. The wife was in the hospital in the ER, and her sister's been in the hospital in the ER. So it's just been horrendous here, but and it's just running through us, and so. But we'll lick it. We'll lick it eventually. So thank you very much for enduring me with my cold and my stopped up head. So thank you very much. I look forward to the next time. All right. So thank you very much, guys. And go ahead, Jeff.
All right, Dylan, I appreciate it. On behalf of everybody, especially my special guest in the for tonight who stayed longer than he said he would, Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters. We had El Toro also in the group with us. Anybody that's on the panel that wants to stay for a brief discussion after the show, just hang in there. If you have to go, I understand. It takes me about 60 seconds to get out. Here's my ending, guys. You know what it is. And if you don't know why I say it, check my channel out. I got a short video. It's about 14.5-minute long. It tells you everything about what I'm doing on my channel and why I say this. Guys, please be safe and play smart.